Wang Yu pondered whether this fellow had discovered his secret. Have you read too many novels? An ancient clan? Should I then possess ancient martial arts as well? If I truly mastered ancient martial arts, I wouldn't have to wait for the naval fleet to arrive. I could single-handedly sink those 3 yachts. Wang Yu looked at Chun Su with disdain, as if regarding him as a fool, and remarked, "Awaken from your delusions, child. You ought to consult a doctor soon." Damn! How had he not realized earlier that this person was such a buffoon? His thought process was utterly bizarre. Chun Su scratched his head and chuckled awkwardly. Meanwhile, Wang Xikong was deep in thought. With so much cash at his disposal, if Wang Yu were to invest, the chances of success seemed quite substantial. After all, we are talking about hundreds of billions. This is no trivial matter. The nature of it is entirely different. If his family trusts him with such a large sum, could it be that there is some insider information at play? Otherwise, which family would so readily entrust a university student with such wealth? As this idea struck Wang Xikong, he suddenly felt a jolt and exclaimed, "Wang Yu, do you have some special connections?" Unbeknownst to him, Wang Yu indeed possessed information unknown to others, not given by anyone, but rather inherited from his past life, an extraordinary historical perspective. With foresight akin to predicting the future, how could he fear losing money in investments? Wang Yu replied nonchalantly, "There are no special connections. However, given the remarkable development of our country, there are countless investment opportunities available." "Huh, I still don't quite understand," Chun Su said, dawning on him only to feel embarrassed afterward. Wang Yu glanced at him and sighed. "I truly am at a loss. Our nation has fully embraced the internet era. Ever since the advent of 4G, internet speeds have dramatically increased, leading to a series of transformations. The first impact was on e-commerce, which has profoundly affected the brick-and-mortar retail sector. Just look at the sales figures during the past few years' Double 11 and Double 12 events. Annual revenues have multiplied, leading to a reshuffling of various industries and the emergence of numerous billionaires." Wang Xikong nodded in understanding. He certainly grasped these concepts and had contemplated entering the fray himself. However, he felt it was too late. The internet was no longer a blue ocean, and his capabilities were insufficient to claim a share. Isn't it difficult to enter the internet space? The 3 giants firmly control every aspect of it, Wang Xikong pondered. After a moment, he continued, "Over the years, I haven't seen anyone break free from the influence of these 3 internet companies. Those who dared to challenge their authority have invariably met with disaster." Wang Yu smiled faintly and replied, "Times are evolving. Nothing remains static. Those who cannot keep pace with the times are destined to be swept away by the tide of progress. Moreover, with such a vast population in our country, it is inevitable that many unseen opportunities will arise in the digital age. Since the technological explosion of the last century, the development of science and technology has gradually slowed. Now, with the vigorous advancement of the internet, an array of emerging technologies and ideas continuously surface. These are merely innovations and combinations of existing technologies. In this era, innovation is paramount, yet blending different concepts can also yield success. With that, Wang Yu shared a mysterious smile. In a few years, Wang Xikong, Qin Fun, and others would come to understand the true essence of blending ideas. How many companies have become the vanguards of their era by accurately grasping the pulse of times? And how many have thrived through a blend of ideas? Take, for instance, certain companies that, on one hand, have pinpointed their market positioning while simultaneously embodying the philosophy of integration, thereby achieving remarkable success. Notably, the emergence of a particular entity has overwhelmed the entire internet landscape. This company has adeptly combined various content types, filming techniques, and special effects, as well as algorithmic recommendations and social interactions, blending advertisements with content, among other innovative concepts. In just a few short years, it has established an expansive commercial empire. Let us not dwell on the innovation-driven growth of another company. Just consider the phenomenon of shared bicycles and shared power banks, which have stirred waves in the domestic market. Chapter 74 discusses innovation and integration, wherein one company has captured a significant share of the market in the country. Even the gaming dominion held by a prominent entity has been pierced by the advent of a certain game. In a few years, the release of monumental works, such as Black Myth, Wukong will impart a lesson to the world, enlightening the arrogant Westerners about the essence of authentic Eastern culture and aesthetics. The spectacular release of Ne Zha 2 has similarly astonished the global film market, revealing the unique allure and profound heritage of Eastern mythological narratives. What is rooted in one's culture is indeed universal. Innovation? Integration? Wang Xikong listened in a state of confusion, utterly perplexed. He inquired, Which company do you intend to invest in? Which one has the potential to rival these three giants? There are myriad outstanding companies across various industries. However, as Wang Yu mentioned, it is challenging to identify a potential stock capable of toppling the three titans. Initially, Wang Xikong merely assumed that Wang Yu is young and reckless, unaware of the vastness of the world. However, it now seems that Wang Yu possesses a profound understanding of the market, which explains his insightful analysis. Didn't a certain internet mogul once say that as long as one stands at the right wind, even a pig can soar? Wang Yu raised his glass, savored a sip, and continued, innovation and integration are the hallmarks of our time. They represent the prevailing winds of this era. Provided you find the right direction, even a pig can take flight. Qin Fan scratched his head, anxiously imploring, Wang Yu, please stop keeping me in suspense. What does it all mean? Wang Yu, with a hint of resignation, replied, based on current market analysis, the prospects for the film, live streaming, and e-commerce industries appear promising and worthy of deep exploration. Indeed, the film industry has flourished in recent years, bolstered by the rise of the internet age, where the star effect has intensified and fan culture has reached absurd heights. Upon hearing this, Wang Xikong remarked, in the past, those starlets would beg for resources, often compromising their integrity. But now they project an air of superiority, feigning nobility, which is quite distasteful. However, I remain puzzled by live streaming and e-commerce. Haven't these sectors been monopolized by leading firms? The year 2018 marked a frenzied peak for live streaming and e-commerce, as a surge of capital influx catalyzed rampant expansion within these related industries. Yet, this was accompanied by a descent into chaotic management practices. The nation promptly enacted relevant laws and regulations to rectify the chaos within various industries, which has dealt a significant blow to those sectors. In this context, certain companies have seized the opportunity to rise, akin to a small spark igniting a vast conflagration. Qin Fan remarked, the live broadcasting industry has become quite challenging, hasn't it? Old Wang's Guobao live streaming platform, having invested so much, is now barely surviving. Indeed, shareholders are preoccupied with power struggles, utterly indifferent to the fate of Guobao live streaming. Recently, I too have been overwhelmed, Wang Xikong lamented. The stout fellow nodded, a lewd smile creeping across his face as he stated, what value can these internet celebrities truly generate? If you have so much money, it would be far more practical to hire a few attractive stars and produce some short films. Many of my friends have invested in the film and entertainment industry and have reaped considerable profits in recent years. I believe investing in films is much more stable. Wang Yu smiled faintly, offering no further explanation. Now, in their eyes, the once inconsequential internet celebrities have ascended to high social status, even gracing the screens of CCTV. The phenomenon of live streaming sales has birthed numerous sales legends, with major institutions reaping substantial profits under the auspices of this vast enterprise. Moreover, the rise overseas has made Chinese culture a sensation both domestically and internationally, drawing countless companies to join in and earn significant profits in foreign currencies. Yet, how many can truly recognize such opportunities? He would not belittle them due to the short-sightedness of Wang Xikong and Qin Fan in his past life. Wang Yu was even less accomplished than they. Why did he have to mock them? Wang Xikong pondered for a moment, still perplexed, and could only helplessly say, brother, when you establish your investment company, do not forget to bring your brother along. If you need anything, just let me know. I can still make my voice heard in this city. Of course, but I currently lack the time, as school is about to start. Wang Yu replied with a slight smile. With the imminent return to school, he didn't have the luxury to manage the establishment of an investment company. Investing is a meticulous endeavor, requiring thorough preparation before commencement. As for why he agreed to include Wang Xikong and others, it was undoubtedly because, in this society where personal relationships are paramount, one inevitably offends certain individuals. Having capable allies can help avert unnecessary troubles. Naturally, he intended to retain absolute control over the company's ownership. All right, we can discuss this later. Once school starts, let's gather again. Qin Fan suggested to Wang Yu. If feasible, I would like to invest as well. While the domestic market may be lacking, I still have some connections in Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. As long as my brother can benefit, I have modest expectations. Of course, no problem. There are endless opportunities to earn money. Let us make it together, Wang Yu chuckled. Who knows, perhaps our startup can break through Asia and reach the world. Wang Xikong and Qin Fan burst into laughter, though they dare not dream of global conquest. It did not hinder their imaginations of triumph over rivals. As breakfast drew to a close, the atmosphere remained vibrant with possibilities. A cadre of over a dozen imposing bodyguards, clad in sleek black suits, approached, each bearing several specially designed bank bags, their weight evident in their grip. The bodyguards proceeded directly to the side of Wang Yu and his companions, respectfully setting down the bags with a dull thud before uniformly stepping aside. Standing tall and unwavering in their demeanor, Wang Xikong, with a jovial smile, rose and gently patted one of the bags, addressing Wang Yu. Your generosity is commendable. We cannot be remiss. Adding to your 10 million, we have a total of 25 million here. Wang Yu waved his hand, his expression serene as he replied, Last night, we all faced life-threatening peril. Let this money serve to ease our minds. Wealth is transient. It neither accompanies us at birth nor follows us in death. Its true value lies in providing reassurance when needed. The audacity of Xiao Quanxiang to attempt to heist stemmed from his acquisition of the Yongle Dadayan. Thus, Wang Yu's decision to distribute 10 million among them was entirely justified. Hearing this, Wang Xikong instructed the nearby bodyguards, distribute it to everyone, 300,000 each. Understood. Boss, the bodyguards affirmed as they took the bags and moved aside to commence the distribution. The atmosphere in the banquet hall surged with warmth as others expressed their gratitude, their voices intertwining in a harmonious chorus, fostering an increasingly vibrant ambience. Beep. The system has detected the host's expenditure of 10 million, double cashback of 20 million granted. Beep. Congratulations to the host for earning 1,000 system points. After the meal, the group made their way to the parking lot. Wang had become the focal point, flanked by Wang Xikong and Qin Fun. Unbeknownst to him, he had seamlessly established himself at the core of this small collective. Checking the time, he remarked, This will be all for today. I must take my leave. Zhang Rou is still waiting for me at the hotel. As for Lei Lei and Tang Tang, they were merely fleeting companions of the night. Zhang Rou, nurtured from the ground up, held a deeper significance for him. Very well, Wang Xikong replied. Next time, let us gather at my bar. Everyone must indulge to their heart's content. Wang Yu nodded, then opened the Lafar storage compartment, retrieving 400,000 and placing it in the arms of Lei Lei and Tang Tang, softly saying, I will TC you off. Here, as 20,000 each. Return and rest well. The two women, clutching the cash, felt a pang of disappointment, but could only nod obediently, murmuring, all right. They realized their thoughts had been overly ambitious. A man of Wang Yu's affluence would hardly consider them, women of the night, as suitable companions. Yet, if given the chance, Lei Lei and Tang Tang would certainly wish to accompany him, for he was not only handsome and tall, but also skilled at gaming and possessed considerable wealth. Securing his favor could ensure a carefree future. The remaining women in attendance gazed enviously at the cash in their arms, some reveling in schadenfreude. Observing Wang Yu allowing the two to depart alone, they cast flirtatious glances his way, hoping to capture his interest. Had it not been for the formidable bodyguards surrounding him, they would have likely surged toward him en masse. Wang Yu, however, feigned ignorance, promptly opening the stylish butterfly doors of his Lafar. Subsequently, he started the car, driving towards the Celestial Palace amidst the reluctant gazes of numerous young women. The bodyguard activated the vehicle and closely followed behind. As for the treasures captured by Wang Yu, they had long been securely placed in the Celestial Palace upon the yacht's arrival. Beep. The system detected that the host spent 400,000, resulting in a double cashback of 800,000. Beep. Congratulations to the host for earning 40 system points. Before long, Wang Yu returned to the Celestial Palace. As soon as he set foot inside, he instructed the bodyguard stationed at the entrance to summon Lung Feng. Lung Feng, tall and upright, entered with a crisp salute, executing a standard military greeting, and said, Boss, you called for me. Wang Yu approached him, his expression filled with sincerity, and patted Lung Feng on the shoulder, expressing, Lung Feng, everyone has worked hard on this trip, facing life and death at sea. I will always remember this. Saying so, Wang Yu took out his phone and swiftly operated it. Lung Feng's phone immediately chimed with a notification. Wang Yu smiled and remarked, I've transferred 2 million to you. Use it to reward the brothers. You can decide how to manage it. Beep. The system detected that the host spent 2 million, resulting in a double cashback of 4 million. Beep. Congratulations to the host for earning 200 system points. With tears brimming in his eyes, Lung Feng responded, his voice slightly hoarse, Boss, this is too much. The brothers are merely fulfilling their duties. They've already received their share at the restaurant. Wang Yu waved his hand dismissively, saying, No need for formalities. The restaurant is one thing, but I want you to keep this. You know I'm not short on money. He understood the importance of nurturing loyalty. In ancient clans, it was customary to support a multitude of retainers, providing them with ample food and provisions while ensuring their families were cared for, often for years or even decades, awaiting the moment of need. The example of Lord Xinling from the Wei State during the Warring States period serves as a quintessential illustration. Renowned for his benevolence and generosity, he treated his retainers with respect regardless of their backgrounds, attracting numerous talented individuals to his side, such as Hoang, Zhu Hai, Mao Gong, and Shui Gong. These retainers provided counsel and devoted their lives to him, significantly enriching Wei's talent pool. At its zenith, his retinue swelled to over 3,000, earning a formidable reputation that deterred neighboring states from waging war against Wei for over a decade. In stark contrast, some modern company owners offer meager salaries of 3,000, yet expect their employees to exert themselves relentlessly. Wang Yu was determined not to encounter issues when the time came for his bodyguards to risk their lives. He had plenty of money, but a life was singular and irreplaceable. Lung Feng stood tall, feet together, executing a precise military salute, though his raised right arm trembled slightly, revealing the turmoil within. He gazed into Wang Yu's eyes and declared, "Boss, I thank you on behalf of the brothers. Our Wolfang squad is at your service, ready to brave any peril. Lung Feng, let us not stand on ceremony. I have witnessed everything along this journey. It is etched in my heart." Wang Yu gazed at Lung Feng, gently patting his shoulder as he spoke. His eyes deepened with sincerity. Wealth is merely a material possession. In my view, the bond of brotherhood is far more precious. The funds I distribute are not for any ulterior motive, but to assure my brothers that loyalty begets reward. I shall never neglect anyone who earnestly dedicates themselves to me. With that, Wang Yu once more firmly patted Lung Feng's shoulder. "Yes, boss, I shall take my leave. Go ahead." Lung Feng saluted once more before exiting the room. "My dear, what has transpired?" Wang Yu turned to see Zhang Ro emerge from the bedroom. Clad in a simple silk robe, her long hair cascaded over her shoulders, and though her face bore the remnants of sleep, concern shone through her eyes. Zhang Ro hurried to Wang Yu, wrapping her arms around his. Looking up at him with worry, she softly inquired, "I just woke up and heard you return from the sea. Was everything all right? I noticed the bodyguards bore injuries." Seeing her in such a state warmed Wang Yu's heart. He tenderly caressed her cheek and reassured her, "There is nothing to worry about. We merely encountered a minor squall, which was easily resolved." "Was it truly just a minor squall? Please, do not conceal anything from me." Zhang Ro pressed, her brow furrowing in disbelief. Wang Yu chuckled, drawing her into his embrace, resting his chin atop her head as he gently soothed her. "Honestly, would I deceive you?" Zhang Ro nodded slightly in his arms, her anxiety easing. Wang Yu delicately cradled her face and leaned down to kiss her. A soft sound escaped Zhang Ro's lips, her body trembling slightly, and the desire in her eyes intensified. Rising onto her tiptoes, she offered him her lips. Wang Yu responded fervently, their tongues intertwining, breath quickening. He lifted her effortlessly, striding toward the master bedroom, where he gently set her down and leaned in for another kiss, trailing heated kisses from her cheek to her neck, leaving fiery marks along the way. Zhang Ro clutched the sheets tightly, arching her back slightly, her legs instinctively entwining around Wang Yu as she murmured, "Husband." Wang Yu's hands roamed her body, each touch eliciting soft gasps from her. They immersed themselves in this passionate moment, releasing the longing and affection that had built over the days. The room was suffused with an intoxicating atmosphere, the bed gently swaying. After a long while, tranquility gradually returned. Chapter 76. The emergence of the enchantress as night descended. The pool at the Tianmu Palace shimmered under the illuminated lights. The water was comfortably warm as Wang Yu languidly soaked, relishing this rare moment of relaxation. At that moment, Zhang Ro swam over from one side of the pool, clad in a red swimsuit that perfectly accentuated her alluring figure. She surfaced beside Wang Yu, shaking her head playfully, a mischievous smile gracing her face. "Wang Yu, you should join me for a swim." Zhang Ro giggled, her eyes glimmering with affection as she gazed at him. Wang Yu smiled and shook his head, his gaze wandering over her form, before he remarked, "I shall indulge in a bath first. You may swim at your leisure." I could hardly bear to miss such a beautiful scene. Upon hearing this, Zhang Ro's cheeks flushed slightly, her eyes betraying a hint of shyness. She straightened her posture and gracefully spun in the water, showcasing her exquisite figure. "Then you must appreciate it well," she replied. Wang Yu nodded, observing Zhang Ro as she frolicked in the water. He then summoned the system. "System, display my personal panel. Host, Wang Yu, age, 20, height, 188 centimeters. Charisma, 92. Physique, 120. The limit for an average person is 100. Endurance, 120. The limit for an average person is 100. Traits, double cashback. Effect, all reasonable expenditures will be refunded doubly. Ultimate physique. Effect, from this moment forth, you are the pinnacle of human physique. Solidification. Effect, eye of truth. Effect, spirit of machine delight. Effect. Points, 888, 627. Hua Xia coins, 15, 973, 207, 894. Wang Yu's eyes swept over the impressive figure of Hua Xia coins, and a wave of astonishment washed over him. Nearly 16 billion in cash. In 2018, I could very well be considered the cash king of Magic City, he murmured to himself. The double cashback from each expenditure had caused his wealth to multiply exponentially. He was confident that in the near future, his cash would surpass that of the online cash king from Beijing. Subsequently, Wang Yu gazed upon the staggering amount of 880,000 points and summoned the advanced roulette. Instantly, a brilliant golden light erupted from the system's display, shimmering ceaselessly, enveloped by an indescribable aura of mystery, exuding a solemn and boundless atmosphere. As the radiance diminished, an ancient and enigmatic roulette appeared before him, spinning continuously. Wang Yu's eyes were once again pierced by the intense light, prompting him to exclaim, "Goodness, this special effect is still so exaggerated. Can it be toned down a bit?" System, perform a 10 consecutive draws. As soon as his words fell, the golden roulette began to whirl rapidly. The golden light flickered erratically, and as the wheel gradually came to a halt, only a few patterns continued to gleam with golden brilliance. Beep. Consumed 100,000 points. The system begins the lottery. Beep. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1,000,000,000 Hua Xia coins. Thank you for your patronage. Beep. Congratulations to the host for acquiring a limited edition vehicle, an Apollo. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Beep. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1,200,000 Hua Xia coins. Beep. Congratulations to the host for acquiring 1,800,000 Hua Xia coins. Beep. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a limited edition vehicle, a Lamborghini Aventador. Beep. Congratulations to the host for acquiring a limited edition vehicle, a Porsche 918. Thank you for your patronage. The vehicle has been placed in your parking space. Please take note. Wang Yu's expression darkened as he realized he had not drawn the coveted entry he desired most. However, he did manage to obtain 3 limited edition sports cars, which provided him with a modicum of solace. He had effectively completed the trio of divine illusions. System, I shall go all in, consuming 780,000 points. The system begins the lottery. Before him, the golden roulette began to spin slowly, radiating brilliance. Wang Yu's face flushed as he fixed his gaze intently on the wheel, silently praying, "O Jade Emperor, Supreme Lord, Tathagata Buddha, Jesus, whoever you may be, grant me your strength." Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the entry, Living Enchantress. Thank you for your patronage. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have acquired 299,999 Hua Xia coins. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained 1 of shares in Penguin Company. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have acquired the entry, King of Games. Thank you for your patronage. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained 666 Hua Xia coins. Thank you for your patronage. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have acquired 666 Hua Xia coins. Ding. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the entry, Basketball Star. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have acquired the entry, Memory Master. Thank you for your patronage. The Industrial and Commercial Bank of China reminds you that your account has been credited with 331, leaving a balance of 541, 225 Hua Xia coins. Wang Yu quickly glanced at the effects of the entries, noting the system panel displayed. Host, Wang Yu, age, 20, height, 188 centimeters, charm, 120, the human limit is 100, physique, 120, the human limit is 100, endurance, 120, the human limit is 100, entries, Living Enchantress, effect, Your charm is irresistible. Women will be captivated by your extraordinary allure. Young man, it's not just the women who will be drawn to you. King of Games. Effect. Your speed and awareness will reach the pinnacle of professional players. Basketball star. Effect. Basketball will pose no challenge to you. The next basketball star is none other than yourself. Memory master. Effect. When knowledge passes through your mind, it will be indelibly etched in your memory. You will never forget. For you embody the essence of a memory master. Points. 8627. Huaxia coins. 30, 306, 541, 225. One you could not help but gasp in astonishment. The entries he had drawn this time were exceedingly practical. The living enchantress elevated his charm beyond human limits to an impressive 120 points. Henceforth, even the most beautiful women would be captivated by him. The memory master ensured that he would retain every detail from his past life, forever etched in his mind, alleviating his fears of forgetfulness. This entry would prove pivotal for his future investment endeavors. As for the king of games and basketball star, their prowess was even more formidable. When an ordinary person acquires these two attributes, they can excel significantly in both fields and become the most dazzling star. Unfortunately, for Wang Yu, these two attributes are rather inconsequential. With a staggering $3 billion in his bank account, it would be absurd for him to aspire to become a basketball star or a gaming live streamer. Nevertheless, these attributes might serve a purpose in other realms, perhaps revealing their value at an unexpected moment. Memories from his previous life surged in his mind like a tidal wave, invigorating his thoughts. He gazed at the information displayed on the system panel, contemplating his future plans, particularly regarding his 1% stake in Tencent. Chapter 77. The Financial Recruitment Scandal. Subsequently, Wang Yu withdrew his attention from the system panel, directing his gaze toward Zhang Ro, who was frolicking in the swimming pool. She moved gracefully through the water, her red swimsuit glistening under the lights, accentuating her enchanting figure. Her slender form and delicate curves shimmered as her skin reflected the crystalline hues of the water. Wang Yu dove into the pool with a splash, swiftly swimming toward Zhang Ro. Upon noticing his approach, a sweet smile illuminated her face. She swam to his side, wrapping her arms around his neck, and, with a hint of curiosity, inquired, "Darling, what were you just thinking? You seem even more handsome." Wang Yu smiled gently, kissing her cheek as he replied, "Nothing much, just pondering a few matters. But right now, I wish to explore something far more intriguing with you." With that, he tenderly pressed his lips against her soft mouth. Zhang Ro closed her eyes, passionately responding to him. The two embraced tightly in the water, their bodies swaying gently with the ripples. Wang Yu's hand gradually glided towards her swimsuit, his fingers delicately probing the edge, savoring the warmth of her skin. He then gently led Zhang Ro to the edge of the pool, allowing her to lean against the wall. As he felt the buoyancy and resistance of the water, he could not help but marvel at the unique sensations it offered. Water splashed around them, igniting fervor. Another sleepless night unfolded. September 6th, 2018. Today marks the beginning of the academic year at Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. As a prestigious 211 institution, it attracts countless exceptional talents. At this moment, the campus entrance bustles with activity, as many freshmen, accompanied by their parents, crowd the registration area. Luxury cars abound. Lamborghinis, Bentleys, Mercedes, Porsches. Students arriving in such opulence exude an air of arrogance, seemingly oblivious to their surroundings. Most of these students hail from local families, while others arrive alone, dragging their suitcases from distant lands to check in. High school is a relatively innocent phase of life. However, upon entering university, the concept of social hierarchy becomes starkly apparent from the very start of orientation. University is a complex microcosm of society, where few can navigate its intricacies flawlessly. At this juncture, Zhao Xiyuan, stationed at the freshman reception desk, was engaged in welcoming the new arrivals. Her hair was styled in a high ponytail, and she donned a pristine white casual outfit. On her feet were a pair of white canvas shoes, seemingly ordinary, yet exuding the vibrancy of youth. "Xiyan, look over there. There's a freshman driving a Ferrari," exclaimed her friend, LV Meng, with excitement, shaking her arm. No matter how one viewed it, a Ferrari cost several million. For a freshman to own such a car suggested their family must be quite affluent. Noticing the local Shanghai license plate only heightened LV Meng's anticipation. She eagerly awaited the newcomer's arrival to formally greet them and, hopefully, connect via messaging app. Niu Ben, lugging a suitcase alongside a box of fruit and a roasted chicken, instinctively gazed at the Ferrari parked by the roadside. Not for any particular reason, but simply to admire the allure of a supercar. The magnetic appeal it held for men was undeniable. While there were numerous luxury vehicles outside the university, few could boast the privilege of a Ferrari. Many young women were drawn to the car, curious to see its owner, and several self-proclaimed beautiful seniors even approached, eager to introduce themselves to the driver. Jiang Haoran, sporting sunglasses, descended from the vehicle with an air of arrogance. As a local from Shanghai, arriving at school in a Ferrari imbued him with an inexplicable sense of nobility. He surveyed the crowd, aware that all eyes were upon him, which inflated his ego. Standing beside the car, he awaited the approach of the youthful and glamorous seniors, anticipating their request for his contact information. "Hey, old Niu, you're here so early." Niu Ben felt a sudden jolt from behind, causing him to cough repeatedly. Turning around, he saw his friend Guo Chuanxing and angrily retorted, "What is wrong with you, big guy?" Guo Chuanxing scratched his head and replied, "I saw you staring so intently. Thought I'd give you a scare." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed. Niu Ben's suitcase, fruit, and roasted chicken tumbled onto the Ferrari. Startled by Guo Chuanxing's elbow jab, he instinctively let go of his belongings, causing them to roll down the slanted roadside and collide forcefully with the Ferrari's door. The impact left noticeable marks on the car, and the roasted chicken spilled onto it, leaving a greasy mess. "What the hell? Who is responsible for this chicken?" Jiang Haoran exclaimed, his eyes bulging with rage as he surveyed the damage to his beloved vehicle. This Ferrari was a present from his father for gaining admission to Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. Though it was merely a second-hand car, he cherished it dearly, driving it everywhere, even for mundane errands like grocery shopping. This summer, it had helped him charm numerous young women, making him feel as though he had reached the pinnacle of life. Now, however, his treasured car lay sullied and damaged, provoking an uncontrollable fury within him. "Who is the idiot? This is serious damage. It's going to cost a fortune to repair." He fumed, lamenting the ruined roasted chicken. What a waste that chicken was. Surrounded by parents and newly enrolled students, the scene of the tragic incident sparked a flurry of discussions. Niu Ben, overwhelmed by despair for his roasted chicken, could only think of the disastrous situation before him. This was a Ferrari. How much would he need to pay for the repair costs? Hailing from impoverished county in Hunan, Niu Ben's family was not well off. He had to work part-time during his spare time to cover over half of his annual living expenses in college. Regaining his composure, he approached Jiang Haoran with a dejected expression and helplessly said, "The luggage and the roasted chicken belong to me. Please tell me how much the repairs will cost, and I will compensate you." "Compensate? Can you even afford it?" Jiang Haoran seized Niu Ben by the collar, shouting furiously, "This is a Ferrari, which cost millions. You, poor wretch, can you truly afford to pay?" He urged Niu Ben to contact his friends and parents, insisting that the repair costs were beyond his means. Boom. Niu Ben felt a wave of dizziness wash over him. Why did fate deal him such a cruel blow? The repair costs for a luxury car worth millions would undoubtedly be exorbitant. How could he possibly compensate? "It's all right." A tall figure stepped forward, speaking earnestly. "This is primarily my responsibility. I will take care of the compensation." "You?" Niu Ben stood there helplessly, feeling even more disoriented. Guo Chuanxing, known colloquially as Big Guy due to his imposing height of nearly 2 meters and robust build, had been the top scholar in their county's college entrance examination, securing a place at the prestigious Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. His family circumstances were not much better than Niu Ben's. What could he possibly offer as compensation? Some concerned bystanders, moved by a sense of justice, spoke up. "Child, you seem educated. You can't just extort money from him. This is merely a minor scratch. It won't cost much to fix. Yes, we should call the police. It's hardly a big deal. Driving a Ferrari, yet lacking grace. Maximum compensation should be just a few thousand." Upon hearing the conversations among the bystanders, Jiang Haoran's anger intensified. "What do you know?" He retorted furiously. "This is a Ferrari. Do you understand? It costs several million. You have no idea what you're talking about." A knowledgeable voice from the crowd interjected. "That car is clearly second-hand. It could be purchased for 1 or 2 million at most. I don't care. You must compensate me with 300,000 for the repairs." Jiang Haoran exclaimed, his frustration palpable. Niu Ben, unfamiliar with cars, felt as though the sky was collapsing when he heard the figure of 300,000. 300,000. Selling himself wouldn't cover that amount. "How about this?" he suggested resignedly. "Let's have someone assess the damages first. Whatever it costs, I'll find a way to pay." Although he was not well versed in automobiles, he refused to take Jiang Haoran's arbitrary figure at face value. A professional assessment was necessary. "I don't care. You owe me 300,000 for repairs, or I'll call your parents, Jiang Haoran declared, throwing a tantrum. This was his hard-earned supercar, and he had always driven it with utmost caution. He intended to seize this opportunity to extort a hefty sum. Suddenly, a loud commotion erupted. A thunderous roar of an engine reverberated, deafening all nearby. Chapter 78, Regrets of the Past. Amidst the cacophony of the engine's growl, a stunning platinum Apollo approached from a distance, captivating the gaze of countless onlookers under the sunlight. The gradient white paint shimmered with golden hues from various angles, while the sleek, aerodynamic body and the racing tail wing at the rear exuded a sense of aesthetic elegance, akin to a graceful dancer in motion. The engine's powerful sound waves resembled a ferocious beast's roar, firmly drawing everyone's attention. This was the world-class supercar, the Apollo, which Wang Yu had won in a lottery. With only 10 units produced worldwide, each valued at over 20 million, it was a highly coveted collector's item, a luxury car unattainable even for the wealthy. Despite the plethora of luxury vehicles present, they all paled in comparison to the Apollo. Jiang Haoran's Ferrari was simply no match. As he beheld the approaching Apollo, deep envy flickered in his eyes. This was the epitome of a supercar, rendering his Ferrari insignificant, like a flickering firefly overshadowed by the brilliance of the moon. What kind of car is that? And it has the license plate 88888 from Magic City. The Apollo starts at over 20 million. 20 million? That's exorbitant. One could purchase a luxurious apartment in Magic City for that price. Whoever drives an Apollo is certainly not an ordinary individual. If I remember correctly, only 10 units exist globally. This must belong to a major tycoon, not some newcomer, right? Who in their right mind would buy such a car? Amidst the envious gazes of the crowd, the doors of the platinum Apollo gradually opened, resembling the wings of a soaring seagull, a testament to its unique gull-wing design. Once the doors were fully raised, Wang Yu nonchalantly stepped out of the vehicle. Clad in a black short-sleeved shirt paired with straight-leg black jeans, he appeared tall and striking. On his feet were classic black and white checkered sneakers, complemented by black laces, exuding simplicity and style. Adorning his wrist was a Vacheron Constantin Artisan 6620, its exquisite dial adorned with dazzling diamonds, gleaming brilliantly in the sunlight. He exuded the youthful vitality of a spirited individual. More importantly, he was undeniably handsome and affluent. After the recent gunfight and the burgeoning balance in his bank account, a serene air of confidence enveloped him, marking his departure from his former self. As he stepped out, he noticed his college roommate from his previous life and approached him, saying, "Lao Nyo, big guy, what are you all up to?" "Wow, Wang Yu, is that really you?" Nyo Ben rubbed his eyes, uncertain. "When did you start driving a supercar? I can hardly believe it's you. I'm done pretending. I'm a second-generation rich kid." Wang Yu shrugged, revealing his truth. His life trajectory in this new existence mirrored that of his past, leading his roommate to assume he was just an ordinary person. Hence Nyo Ben's disbelief. "Wait, man," Big Guy said, still in disbelief. "If you're a second-generation rich kid now, can we still hang out like before?" "Nothing changes. It'll be just like old times for you all," Wang Yu assured him. With a resigned smile, Wang Yu remarked. Upon hearing this, Nyo Ben, somewhat disheartened, responded, "My suitcase was left on his car, and it got scratched. He insists on 30,000 for repairs, and now he is causing a scene." Wang Yu glanced over to see it was a 2017 Ferrari, with a minor scratch on the door, a mere blemish on the paint. How could he demand 30,000 for such a trivial matter? A brand new Ferrari from 2017 had an original price of merely 260,000. Jiang Haoran, already envious of Wang Yu's Apollo, felt a surge of anger as he noticed Wang Yu, a friend of Nyo Ben, looking so dashing and stealing the limelight. "You must be his friend. Seeing as you drive such a fine car, why not compensate him the 30,000? He sneered. "A poor soul like him is lucky to have friends like you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be leaving here today." Jiang Haoran's deranged outburst drew discontented murmurs from the crowd. Many middle-aged women furrowing their brows in disapproval of his foul words, voicing their criticism. From a distance, Zhao Siyuan observed the unfolding scene with an expression of surprise, whispering, "Is it him?" After assessing the situation, Wang Yu shifted his gaze towards Jiang Haoran and slowly inquired, "Is this car yours?" Under the imposing presence of Wang Yu, who drove an Apollo, Jiang Haoran felt a twinge of fear. Yet, in front of so many witnesses, he could not back down. Otherwise, his 4 years of university would become a source of ridicule, and he would never hold his head high again. "Yes, it is mine. What of it?" Jiang Haoran retorted defiantly. He then turned to Nyo Ben and Guo Chuanxing, raising his voice. "What are you two pretending for? You damaged my car and still want to play the victim?" Hurry up and pay. He reached out to grab Niu Ben by his collar. Seeing this, the larger man swiftly shoved Jiang Haoran's hand away, causing him to stumble back uncontrollably. Wang Yu stated sternly, "You dare demand 30,000 for repairs on a mere Ferrari? You truly have some audacity, bullying my friend." Jiang Haoran, now flustered, exclaimed, "What is wrong with my car? I just got this new vehicle less than a month ago. 30,000 is more than reasonable. For the sake of friendship, how about 20,000? Realizing Wang Yu drove an Apollo, which hinted at wealth, he instinctively lowered his demand by 10,000. Wang Yu, noticing that Jiang Haoran still dared to ask for such a sum, looked around and casually picked up a pebble from the ground, smashing it down onto the Ferrari's front hood. The already dirty Ferrari now appeared even more like a second-hand vehicle. Wang Yu dusted off his hands and smiled with satisfaction. "Now it's worth 20,000. "You are crossing the line," Jiang Haoran shouted, but Wang Yu's smile faded slowly as he replied, "Indeed, I am bullying you. What will you do about it? Just wait, this matter is far from over. I will call the police." Jiang Haoran threatened. "Call the police? I'll be waiting," Wang Yu responded, waving his hand behind him. Instantly, his bodyguard, who had been lurking in the shadows to protect him, stepped forward and coldly declared, "Boss, what are your orders?" "Destroy this car for me." "What audacity, acting so arrogant." Hearing the words, Lung Feng did not hesitate. He drew a telescopic baton from his waist and struck it directly against the Ferrari before him. The other bodyguards followed suit with ruthless intent, their batons relentlessly pounding the luxurious vehicle. The cacophony of shattering glass intertwined with the sound of twisting metal echoing through the air. Jiang Haoran, observing the bodyguards clad in black suits, felt his legs weaken and fell to his knees with a thud, his hands trembling uncontrollably as tears streamed down his face. He pleaded, "Please stop. I beg you, I was wrong. I shouldn't have asked for such an exorbitant amount. I swear I won't dare again." Before long, the once stylish Ferrari was utterly unrecognizable, its body dented and parts strewn about, resembling nothing more than a pile of scrap metal. Wang Yu gazed at the battered Ferrari with a slight smile. He turned back to his car, retrieved 50,000 in cash, and tossed it to the ground coldly, stating, "This is for the repairs. Should any further issues arise, feel free to seek me out. I am Wang Yu. However, you would do well to consider the consequences of provoking me." Jiang Haoran trembled as he picked up the money from the ground, his eyes filled with fear and regret. Bowing his head, he dared not meet Wang Yu's gaze, stammering, "I understand. I won't dare again." Even if given 100 chances, he would not dare retaliate against Wang Yu. He was acutely aware that someone like Wang Yu, a wealthy second-generation heir, had numerous means at his disposal to deal with him. Provoking Wang Yu could very well result in his body being found in the Huangpu River the next day. At that moment, he felt a deep sense of remorse for his greed in demanding an outrageous sum of 300,000 for repairs. How he wished he could turn back time. Chapter 79. The Mysterious Wealthy Heir Ding. The system has detected the host spending 500,000. Double cashback of 1 million granted. Ding. Congratulations, the host has earned 50 system points. Wealth serves as a person's greatest assurance. With 3 billion in his bank account, the daily interest alone amounts to several million. Not to mention a single Ferrari. Even if it were 100 or 200, one would not hesitate to smash them all. How exhilarating. What a sense of security. He exudes an overwhelming charm. Is he a freshman as well? It seems the domineering protagonists from novels truly exist. I am in love. I can hardly bear to look. He is both handsome and wealthy, making my knees weak. The surrounding girls were filled with admiration for Wang Yu, wishing fervently for him to be their boyfriend. Which girl could possibly refuse Wang Yu as a partner? He is handsome, affluent, and stands at a remarkable height of 188 centimeters. Perhaps he excels at poker as well. Niu Ben looked at Wang Yu with gratitude, his heart brimming with emotion, yet tinged with unease. He grasped Wang Yu's hand tightly, saying, "Wang Yu, I can't thank you enough. I had no idea what to do. I will find a way to repay you the 50,000. Wang Yu gestured for the bodyguards to step back, chuckling as he patted Niu Ben's shoulder nonchalantly. "Old Niu, don't be so formal. We are brothers. This amount is nothing. Do not forget, I am a wealthy heir." Niu Ben shook his head, sighing, his expression resolute as he replied, "No, I must repay this money. I cannot accept your help without reason. I am aware that you come from a wealthy background and do not lack for money, yet this is a matter of principle for me." "Very well. If you insist on repaying, then do so at your own pace. We can discuss it after your graduation." Wang Yu smiled helplessly and spoke. In his previous life, Niu Ben graduated from university and, like Wang Yu, remained in the bustling metropolis, leading a life akin to that of a workhorse. unable to consume the grand dreams painted by his employer. After several years of drifting, a resigned Nyo Bin found himself back in his hometown. Presently, Nyo Bin was still filled with Na'vi optimism, believing that as a high-achieving student from a prestigious university, earning 500,000 after graduation would be a mere trifle. The youthful pride was palpable. However, as the seasons changed, reality proved to be a fickle mistress. At that moment, Zhao Siyun approached Wang Yu with a smile, saying, "Mr. Wang, we meet again. Are you here to register as a new student?" Wang Yu turned, surprised, and replied, "What a coincidence. What are you doing up here? Are you also a new student?" Zhao Siyun beamed and said, "I am a student at the university, currently in my senior year." "I'm your senior." Wang Yu felt an inexplicable sense of fate's whimsy. After their last encounter at the Vacheron Constantin store, they had not been in touch, and now fate had brought them together once more. However, Wang Yu could not recall any information about her from his previous life. Logically, someone as beautiful as Zhao Siyun should be quite renowned at the university. "It's truly a stroke of luck to run into you here," Wang Yu remarked. "I am a junior. I suppose I must address you as senior. Please, just call me Wang Yu." Zhao Siyun replied with a hint of disappointment. "I didn't realize you were already a junior. I was hoping to help you with your registration." With that, she playfully stuck out her tongue. Wang Yu gazed at Zhao Siyun, noting her high ponytail and casual white attire, which rendered her strikingly graceful. Name: Zhao Siyun. Age: 21. Height: 175 centimeters. Charm: 96. Physique: 91. Affection: 65. Skills: Advanced Sanda, Intermediate Wing Chun. Advanced Accounting. As Wang Yu observed the 65 points of affection, he nodded thoughtfully. "After our last parting, we promised to keep in touch, yet you never reached out," Zhao Siyun said with a hint of reproach. Wang Yu chuckled awkwardly. Zhao Siyun had not been this forward before. Could it be the effect of her newfound charm? He rubbed his nose, feeling slightly embarrassed, and said, "Lately, I've been quite busy. Let us find a time when you're free. I'd love to take you out for a meal." Zhao Siyun's face lit up. "That sounds wonderful. Just make sure you don't back out." Wang Yu replied earnestly, "No problem. I'll remember." Zhao Siyun interjected, "Then I must take my leave. I still have new students to attend to." Wang Yu and Nyo Bin returned to their dormitory, where they had resided for 2 years. As Wang Yu entered the familiar space, he smiled gently, stepping inside. Sunlight streamed through the window, illuminating the bright and spacious dormitory. The ground has been meticulously cleaned, with 4 wooden beds adorned with light blue sheets and blankets arranged within. As the tall figure entered, he exclaimed, "At last, we are back. After a day of travel, our dormitory is the most comfortable." Nyo Bin tossed his luggage onto the bed and plopped down with a smile, remarking, "Look, the dormitory has already been tidied up. Old Zheng must have arrived early." Just as he spoke, the dormitory door swung open, and a slender young man stepped inside. His bright, spirited eyes and prominent nose were complemented by a cheerful smile. This was Zheng Zhen, their final roommate, who declared loudly upon entering, Well, just as I finished cleaning, you all returned." Wang Yu chuckled as he stood and patted Zheng Zhen on the shoulder, saying, "Old Zheng, you worked hard. Let me treat you to a meal in the cafeteria later." Zheng Zhen chuckled in response, "Wow, you're so generous, treating us in the cafeteria." Suddenly, the tall figure sprang up and suggested, "Let us go out for a feast tonight to celebrate the beginning of the new semester." Nyo Bin eagerly nodded, and Zheng Zhen excitedly added, "Sounds great. We can make do with a meal in the cafeteria for lunch. I know a fantastic hot pot restaurant nearby that we should visit tonight." After they reached a consensus, they tidied up and prepared to head out. Nyo Bin suddenly recalled something and said, "By the way, we still need some daily necessities for the dormitory. Let us buy them together when we pass by the supermarket." Wang Yu nodded. "I probably want to be living in the dormitory this semester." "What is up?" Zheng Zhen asked, puzzled. Nyo Bin laughed heartily. "Old Zheng, you're still in the dark. Wang Yu has been keeping it from us for 2 years. He is actually a rich second generation." He continued, "I bet this news is already spreading like wildfire on the campus network." Upon hearing this, Zheng Zhen, astonished, pulled out his phone and opened the Shanghai University of Finance and Economics campus website. Indeed, there it was. In the campus Hot Topics section on the homepage, a video and images of Wang Yu's bodyguards smashing a luxury car were prominently displayed, accompanied by a striking headline. "Shocking. Our school's mysterious rich second generation spends lavishly, turning luxury cars into scrap metal." In the video, Wang Yu stood amidst a group of bodyguards, calmly watching as a Ferrari was destroyed, surrounded by students who screamed and cheered. The images captured this stunning scene from various angles, showcasing Wang Yu's handsome profile, the wrecked Ferrari, and the enamored expressions of nearby girls. Chapter 80. The campus heartthrob. The comments beneath the post exploded with excitement. Wow, yes, so handsome. If only I could meet him. I can't believe our school has such a super rich second generation. How do we never notice before? Shocking. On the first day of school, a rich second generation smashed a Ferrari. Shocking. The Ferrari owner boasted about exorbitant repair costs. I'm seeking the young gentleman's contact information. Local license plate from Magic City. And it's a 5/8 special number. Who is this person? On the campus network of Shanghai University of Finance and Economics, various posts flew around, amplified by the start of the new semester. In this age of advanced connectivity, Wang Yu's photos and videos quickly spread across forums in a matter of moments. 30 million Apollo. Magic 88888's local license plate. Accompanied by bodyguards. The mere presence of several million-dollar Ferraris speaks volumes about Wang Yu's status and identity. Many students are left speculating about his background. Some voices on the internet claim that he is the son of a chairman from a certain internet company, previously maintaining a low profile. Now, with his return, he seems determined to reclaim everything he lost. Others suggest that he might be the illegitimate child of a powerful figure, born into an aristocratic lineage beyond compare in wealth. There are whispers that he belongs to a hidden noble family, with riches sufficient to purchase an entire nation. The rumors grow more extravagant with each retelling, spiraling into the absurd. Countless female students are eager to become acquainted with this handsome and affluent heir. How could such a perfect individual exist, both charming and wealthy? The audacity to flaunt a Ferrari before my idol is simply outrageous. Who has my idol's contact information? I am willing to offer a handsome reward. As more posts flood in, Wang Yu quickly becomes the center of attention among the female student body, with some even going to great lengths to obtain his contact details, offering substantial bounties. I hereby declare that Wang Yu is the #1 heartthrob at our esteemed university. Who dares to oppose this? I stand in agreement. Apart from Wang Yu, I would contest anyone else for this title. On the very first day of the semester, Wang Yu is unanimously acknowledged as the most handsome male figure at the university. Zheng Zhen, observing the unfolding spectacle, cannot help but read a few comments aloud, his expression one of astonishment. Wow, Apollo, what kind of luxury car is this? I've never even heard of it. He then turns to Wang Yu, a teasing glint in his eyes, and remarks, Wang Yu, you've become quite the campus celebrity. Look at all these comments. They're all praising you, and so many girls want to add you as a contact. The tall one also leans in, eyeing the phone screen with a grin. If I could drive such a sports car, attracting girls would be a piece of cake. Wang Yu waves his hand dismissively, saying, I never anticipated this. I merely wanted to stand up for Niobin, who knew it would be captured and shared online. Well, Wang Yu, you usually seem so low-key. It's surprising to discover you're a hidden wealthy heir. Zheng Zhen smiles as he closes his phone. By the way, tonight's dinner is on you, as a celebration for your newfound fame. Of course. They laugh heartily and step out of the dormitory, heading to the cafeteria for lunch. Although Zheng Zhen's family is not extraordinarily wealthy, his father merely works in the education and training sector. They have managed to accumulate a respectable fortune over the years. While he admires Wang Yu's affluent background, he feels no jealousy. Rather, he takes pride in having a brother who is a rich heir. In a previous life, Wang Yu had a solid rapport with these roommates, unlike the intricate rivalries often found in female dormitories. Unfortunately, after graduation and entering society, they gradually lost touch. Meanwhile, in the female dormitory, one ordinary-looking yet sturdy girl, holding her phone, excitedly exclaims to the others, Come and see. There's a guy named Wang Yu driving an Apollo to school, and his license plate is 88,888. He is so handsome. I saw it too. He really is quite handsome. I have no chance. A deity like him would never notice me. The other girls in the dormitory began to chime in. One girl, of average appearance and stature, declared, No way, starting today, I must begin my diet. Another girl dreamily responded, If only Wang Yu would take a liking to me, then I could marry him and never worry again. Don't be ridiculous. With looks like yours, how could Wang Yu ever notice you? If it were Ning Shuang, perhaps it might be a glimmer of hope. The dorm fell silent. Several pairs of eyes turned to a quiet girl sitting aside, who had remained speechless. Ning Shuang, have you seen the post on the forum? The girl named Ning Shuang was quietly perched on her bed, engrossed in her phone. Her long, lustrous black hair cascaded effortlessly over her shoulders. Her skin was as delicate as snow, glowing faintly pink under the warm light, akin to freshly bloomed petals. Her brows were like ink, and beneath them, her bright eyes sparkled like stars in the night sky, exuding both vivacity and clarity. Below her prominent nose lay softly pursed lips, tinted a cherry red, evoking an irresistible desire for a gentle kiss. She wore a light blue nightgown, the loose neckline slightly ajar, revealing her exquisite collarbone. Upon hearing the conversation, Ning Shuang set her phone aside and replied softly, "I saw it too. He is indeed quite handsome." As she spoke, she rose from her bed and stretched her body, revealing her alluring curves, which elicited envy from the other girls in the dorm. Although the other three had seen her numerous times before, they were still captivated by her beauty. One sturdy girl remarked, "Ning Shuang, if it were you, I am sure Wang Yuwu and T turn you down." "Indeed, Ning Shuang, your looks and figure make us girls envious. If Wang were to see you, he might even pursue you actively." Ning Shuang smiled gently, choosing not to elaborate further. She turned and picked up some fresh clothes, heading to the bathroom to freshen up. Shortly after, she emerged, clad in a white short-sleeved top adorned with a necklace that accentuated her delicate collarbone. The ensemble was particularly eye-catching. She wore a black short skirt paired with white sneakers, showcasing her long, straight, fair legs to perfection. Pure, yet alluring, Ning Shuang simply stood there. Even with minimal makeup, she surpassed 99% of beauties in the world. The phrases "as beautiful as the moon" or "as stunning as a flower" no longer suffice to describe her allure. "Ning Shuang, it's so hot outside. Where are you going?" Her roommates, noticing her dressed up and ready to leave, couldn't help but ask, curious as to her plans. Typically, she would never venture out in such weather. Ning Shuang replied calmly, "I've been cooped up in the dorm all day. I want to take a walk. Isn't today the day for new students to check in? The cafeteria will likely be crowded later. I'd like to eat early to avoid the rush." Indeed, today marks the new students' registration. I can only imagine how packed the cafeteria will be. The ordinary-looking girl quickly changed her clothes, preparing to accompany Ning Shuang for a meal. "I shall also go. Perhaps I might encounter Wang Yu in the cafeteria. However, that is not certain. With his wealth, how could he possibly dine in the cafeteria? He cannot remain confined to his dormitory. There must be opportunities to cross paths. Even if he is not in the cafeteria, we could still meet within the campus. I could feign a stumble, thereby seizing the chance to connect with my idol through a message. Hehe." Chapter 81. The Initiative of Ren Ningxiang. Oh, during broad daylight. Cease your daydreaming. The idol is undoubtedly under the gaze of numerous admirers. It is hardly your turn. Yet who knows? What the idol happens to fancy someone like me? The remaining two roommates changed their attire, preparing to venture out with Ren Ningxiang. Leaning against the dormitory door, Ren Ningxiang listened to their occasionally frivolous remarks, deep in thought. Before long, the corners of her rosy lips gently lifted, a mysterious smile gracing her countenance. Wang Yu and his companions strolled through the campus of the Finance University. On the paths, groups of girls walked together, their fair, long legs on full display, accentuated by white sneakers, exuding youthful vitality. Their faces radiated with bright smiles, occasionally punctuated by melodious laughter. Having been reborn and returned to his alma mater, Wang Yu's perspective had transformed entirely. University life is delightful. It is the final blissful chapter of one's life. Carefree, with no concerns beyond academics. Once graduated after 4 years, the harsh realities of society will set in. The relentless exploitation by employers is omnipresent. No matter how many companies you switch, the situation remains unchanged. The essence of capitalism is to minimize costs while maximizing profits. Wang Yu had deeply experienced this in his previous life. Though devoid of such worries in this lifetime, he still yearned to truly savor the university experience. Such a splendid life must not be squandered. Soon, they arrived at the cafeteria. Wang Yu ordered several familiar dishes, preparing to relive the bitterness of over a decade. The total cost amounted to 35 yuan. After collecting their meals, Wang Yu and Niu Ben found an empty table to sit and eat. Upon taking a bite of the braised pork, Wang Yu was momentarily speechless, exclaiming, "How can it still be so unpalatable?" The familiar taste and recipe mirrored his memories precisely. Having been given a second chance at life, he could not fathom how the ingredients could be prepared so poorly. Is cooking truly such a challenge? They claim that school cafeterias waste an immense amount of food daily, urging everyone to conserve. Wang Yu believed that transforming these ingredients into such distasteful dishes constituted the greatest waste. If only they would hire a competent chef. Perhaps these students would not leave food uneaten. "I think it's quite all right, rather tasty," Niu Ben said nonchalantly, devouring his meal. For children from impoverished families, the flavor of the food is secondary. Being full is what matters. With a beaming smile, the tall one proudly declared, "As long as there is fried chicken, I am content. I simply adore fried chicken. Let's eat casually. We shall indulge later tonight. Zheng Jun replied with a hint of resignation. Wang Yu took a few bites of his meal before reluctantly setting down his chopsticks, finding it utterly unappetizing. He resolved to venture out for a bite to eat shortly. Suddenly, a commotion erupted at the entrance of the cafeteria. Many diners paused, their chopsticks suspended mid-air, gazing toward the door. There stood a remarkable young woman, flanked by 3 friends. Her long, elegant legs caught Wang Yu's eye, and the 3 girls beside her seemed merely like leaves accompanying a stunning blossom, making her beauty particularly striking. In terms of both demeanor and attire, she was the most exquisite girl Wang Yu had ever encountered. However, her somewhat frosty expression rendered her intimidating, discouraging any approach. Wang Yu activated his true eye, revealing her personal information on the system panel. Name: Ren Yangshuang. Age: 23. Height: 172 centimeters. Charm: 98. Physique: 90. Favorability: 70. Skills: Advanced Yoga, Advanced Dance, Advanced Business English. Intermediate Singing. Who is this breathtaking beauty? Inquired a curious new student. You don't know her? You must be a freshman, exclaimed an excited boy. This is Ren Yangshuang, the reigning campus belle for 3 consecutive years at our esteemed university. She was the goddess of the entire campus. A senior who had held the title since her freshman year, her ethereal presence leaving countless young men and women restless at night. Rumor had it that her family's circumstances were modest, compelling her to work part-time throughout her university years. Despite the pursuit of numerous wealthy suitors, she had never acquiesced. It was said she possessed a multitude of talents, excelling in dance and singing, and she performed at the annual freshman gala. Many new students fell into a reverie, enchanted by Ren Yangshuang's allure. Standing at the cafeteria entrance, she peered inside. Yangshuang, why aren't you coming in? Her roommate inquired, puzzled. Suddenly, her gaze fixated on a particular spot, and she proceeded in that direction. A boy, glancing around nervously, pointed to himself and exclaimed, "Is the goddess here for me?" Clearing his throat anxiously, he fidgeted with his hairstyle, waiting for Ren Yangshuang to approach. As she drew closer, he stood up, a captivating smile gracing his face as he extended his right hand, saying, "Hello, I am Yang Wei, a freshman. It's a pleasure to meet you." Before he could finish his introduction, Ren Yangshuang brushed past him. His smile faltered, his face flushed with embarrassment. Laughter erupted from countless spectators, mocking his audacity in believing the goddess would seek him out. Wang Yu paid little mind to the uproar in the cafeteria. After a few had finished their meals and returned their plates to the sink, they prepared to leave. At that moment, they noticed the very same girl standing before them. With a rosy complexion and a smile adorning her face, she extended her delicate hand toward Wang Yu. "Hello, let us get acquainted. I am Ren Yangshuang, a senior in the Foreign Language Institute. Let us be friends." The cafeteria fell silent in an instant. The previously animated discussion among the boys came to an abrupt halt as one of them paused, his chopsticks suspended mid-air, feeling as though his heart had ceased to beat. What had the goddess just uttered? For 3 years at university, Ren Yangshuang, who had shown no interest in men, unexpectedly extended an invitation to Wang Yu, suggesting they become friends. Moreover, she beamed at him, her smile radiant and uncontainable. Many of the boys felt utterly dejected. Was this truly the same aloof campus beauty they were familiar with? Wang Yu gazed at Ren Yangshuang's outstretched hand, but made no move to reciprocate. He replied nonchalantly, "I apologize, but I tend to prefer solitude." He could not deny that Ren Yangshuang was the most exquisite girl he had ever encountered. Among the women he knew, her allure was unparalleled, surpassing that of any other. Yet this did not imply that Wang Yu wished to forge any connection with her. This was primarily due to his knowledge from a past life. In his previous existence, he was aware of Ren Yangshuang's indifference towards men during her college years, only to accept the pursuit of a wealthy heir as graduation approached. Under normal circumstances, this would not be remarkable. However, when this affluent heir's family faced bankruptcy, Ren Yangshuang, without a moment's hesitation, accepted the advances of another wealthy suitor, subsequently changing partners numerous times. Before Wang Yu was reborn, he had heard within their class group that she eventually achieved her desires, marrying into a wealthy family and becoming a lady of high society. Wang Yu acknowledged Ren Yangshuang's beauty yet. Chapter 82. Why should women complicate matters for each other? Upon hearing Wang Yu's words, Ren Yangshuang's smile faltered momentarily. She had not anticipated such a direct rejection, devoid of hesitation. She began to question whether her attire or makeup was unappealing to him. After a brief moment of contemplation, her smile remained intact as she continued, "It is rather impolite to refuse someone. Perhaps I could become your best friend." She added, "After all, we are merely getting acquainted. There is no obligation to become friends, or to pursue any other relationship. With her smile unwavering, Ren Yangshuang enthusiastically addressed Wang Yu. So what do you say? Shall we attempt to be friends, senior? Not necessary, Wang Yu replied coolly. My time and energy are precious. If there is nothing else, I shall take my leave. With that, he turned and walked away. Ren Yangshuang's smile vanished instantly as she hastened to block his path, demanding, Why? What do you mean? She gestured toward the boys in the cafeteria, saying, I am the campus beauty of Financial University for 3 consecutive years. Do you not recognize me? Am I not attractive enough? You are indeed beautiful, tall, and striking, Wang Yu conceded with a nod. Then why do you reject me? Ren Yangshuang asked, perplexed. Is it because there are too many people here and you dislike being too conspicuous? Or perhaps you already have someone you fancy? Wang Yu, feeling exasperated, answered, My refusal has nothing to do with your beauty nor with whether I have someone I like. Just because you are attractive does not mean I must befriend you or engage in any relationship. Many have expressed a desire to befriend me. If I were to acquiesce to all, how would I navigate my life? He is not the type to be rendered immobile by the sight of an attractive woman. He pursues those he genuinely likes, while those he does not care for remain irrelevant to him. In the dynamic between men and women, it is not merely beauty that grants one the upper hand or engenders initiative. Typically, in most couples, the woman occupies the dominant role, while the man often assumes a more subservient position. However, this does not apply to Wang Yu. He possesses the confidence and stature that prevent him from groveling before women. Attractive women, both in appearance and physique, are rare commodities in society, often sought after by those less fortunate. Conversely, someone with Wang Yu's esteemed background is a rarity. One would be hard-pressed to find another like him globally. While there may be individuals with superior family backgrounds, they lack his youth and charm. And those who are younger than him typically do not match his family status. With an impassive expression, Wang Yu regarded Ren Ningxiang and remarked, Do you understand now, senior? Ren Ningxiang stood frozen, her mind a blank slate. By the time she regained her composure, Wang Yu had already distanced himself, prompting her to call out, Can we at least add each other on Feixin? Wang Yu merely waved his hand dismissively, choosing not to elaborate further. Under the watchful eyes of the cafeteria patrons, Wang Yu and his companions exited through the doors. Ren Ningxiang gazed at Wang Yu's retreating figure, deep in thought, as she reflected on his words. A smile gradually graced her lips. Wang Yu was entirely different from her preconceived notions, unique yet intriguing, which only deepened her curiosity to know him better. Approaching her 3 roommates, she acted as though nothing had transpired, displaying no signs of embarrassment. Calmly, she suggested, Let us go see what the cafeteria has prepared today. Her roommates exchanged bewildered glances, questioning whether this was indeed their typically aloof friend. Ren Ningxiang's earlier assertiveness contrasted sharply with the persona they had come to know. Having lived together for 3 years, they believed they understood her well. She had always remained indifferent to the advances of wealthy suitors and had never shown any inclination towards romance. They were astonished to realize that their goddess could also harbor feelings for a man and even had the initiative to approach Wang Yu. Most astonishingly, she had been rejected. The 3 roommates cautiously observed Ren Ningxiang, concerned about her reaction to Wang Yu's dismissal. Yet, she appeared remarkably unfazed, as if nothing had transpired. The 4 then proceeded to the counter to place their orders. Only then did the other patrons regain their senses. What had they just witnessed? The goddess had approached Wang Yu, only to be turned down. How audacious of him! Had the roles been reversed, they would have been overwhelmed with excitement at the prospect of Ren Ningxiang initiating conversation. Who exactly was Wang Yu, that even the goddess could spurn him? Speculations abounded within the cafeteria. One could hardly forget the striking young man who had recently made headlines for smashing a luxury car, garnering attention and being hailed as the new campus heartthrob. Another individual is Ren Yangshuang, the school beauty who has held her title for 3 consecutive years. Unsurprisingly, she has once again claimed the top spot in this year's beauty rankings. In no time, rumors began to circulate, spreading rapidly across the campus network of our university, swiftly becoming a hot topic. Someone immediately edited a lengthy post stating that the goddess Ren Yangshuang had made an overture to the handsome Wang Yu, only to be met with a cruel rejection. It appeared that the handsome Wang Yu had little interest in the fair sex. Could it be true? After all, Ren Yangshuang has been our university's school beauty for 3 consecutive years, yet she was turned down? Who is this Wang Yu? Such posts proliferated, causing a tremendous uproar. Within a short period, the news had swept across the campus. What should we do if the handsome guy doesn't like girls? My dreams are shattered. Oh, goddess, why would you set your sights on Wang Yu? This has truly left me grinding my teeth in frustration. Goddess, take a look at me. I am quite handsome too. Alas, if the handsome guy has no affection for girls, does that not leave me with a glimmer of hope? Among the chaos, peculiar comments began to emerge. Countless admirers, both secret and open, of Ren Yangshuang found their hearts broken. Their once aloof goddess had now descended from her pedestal, being so forward in front of Wang Yu. This was an immense blow to them. They had originally believed that someone as ethereal and detached as Ren Yangshuang, akin to a fairy untouched by worldly affairs, was destined to remain alone. Little did they expect her to succumb to reality, lowering her noble head before a wealthy heir like Wang Yu. Some students were utterly devastated. In the comments following the related posts, scathing remarks and insults abounded. I had thought to myself, how could anyone dislike a wealthy heir? It turned out that he simply wasn't rich enough. You all are unaware that I have heard rumors she engages in questionable activities on the side. She deserves to be rejected by my handsome guy, thinking that a bit of beauty guarantees universal admiration. It is Ren Yangshuang who seduced my boyfriend. May she perish. Numerous baseless comments flooded the related posts. No one knew whether they were true, nor did anyone care. Most merely followed the rhythm set by those with ulterior motives. Speaking recklessly, although some of the animosity stemmed from love turned to hate, the majority of the disparagement came from women. They were already envious of Ren Yangshuang's beauty. While they publicly vilified her for being pretentious, privately, they were envious of the multitude of admirers she attracted. Each time the school held a beauty contest, Ren Yangshuang consistently claimed the first prize, while most of them scarcely garnered a glance from the boys. They could not let go of this rare opportunity and join the crowd in their unrestrained slander against Ren Yangshuang. Some of the remarks were so outrageous that many could no longer bear to read them and quietly exited the campus forum. Why must women make life difficult for one another? When an avalanche occurs, no snowflake is innocent. Chapter 83. I can fail countless times inside the girls' dormitory. A rather robust girl exclaimed, "Quick, look at the campus network. It's filled with disparaging comments about Yangshuang. Indeed, these people know nothing and are merely spouting nonsense. It infuriates me. Yangshuang, have you seen this? Are you not going to respond?" Ren Yangshuang languidly reclined on her bed, gazing at her phone with an air of indifference, seemingly unaffected by the malicious attacks directed at her. Observing her demeanor, her roommate curiously inquired, "Yangshuang, aren't you angry? They have said such things about you. What is there to be angry about?" Fei Niangqiang replied nonchalantly. To not be envied is a sign of mediocrity. The more ferociously and venomously they criticize me, the more it reveals their jealousy and admiration for me. Let them speak. Their words are their own, and I cannot silence them. But we cannot simply ignore it. Interjected a plump girl. I've noticed that the number of people disparaging you online is increasing. Shouldn't you post a video to clarify that these are mere fabrications by netizens? Indeed, you should hurry and make a video. It might be too late otherwise, echoed another roommate. Upon hearing this, a flicker of helplessness crossed Ren Yangshuang's eyes as she responded, "Wouldn't that trap me in a self-justifying dilemma? Those who wish to criticize will always find a way to attack. A single video cannot resolve that. These individuals are like rats in the gutter, scurrying away from the light. Now that they've found a semblance of significance, let them create their ruckus. If I were to release a video now, who would listen? It would only fan the flames of their fervor." Her roommates fell silent for a time, collectively concluding that issuing a statement was not a prudent course of action. Their gazes towards Ren Yangshuang were filled with sympathy, for her reputation could be irrevocably tarnished. "Yangshuang, why did you choose to approach Wang Yu? You shouldn't have been so forward," one remarked. "Yes, Yangshuang, that was rather rash of you," they chimed in, perceiving her actions as self-inflicted. In front of so many in the cafeteria, she had approached Wang Yu without the slightest pretense. Had she succeeded, it would have been one matter, but Wang Yu had rejected her. This undoubtedly provided others with ammunition to criticize her. Rash? I beg to differ. In fact, I find Wang Yu quite intriguing. If he had readily accepted, I would have deemed him no different from other men, merely swayed by appearances, Ren Yangshuang stated, with a hint of amusement in her eyes. She continued, "After our brief encounter, I found him rather interesting. I genuinely wish to experience romance with him. Do you truly desire to fall in love, Yangshuang? After 4 years of university without a relationship, life does seem incomplete," one roommate mused. "But why choose Wang Yu?" Another asked, perplexed. "He has already turned you down. With so many affluent heirs at school, I am certain that with a mere wave of your hand, they would flock to you like dogs. Why pursue someone as unromantic as Wang Yu? Other affluent heirs?" Ren Yangshuang shook her head. "Which of them drives an Apollo? Which one possesses the height and charm of Wang Yu? I believe any girl would aspire to find someone like him. Don't pretend you haven't thought about it. Wang Yu rejected me once, but I refuse to believe he would do so a second time. I will not give up. I may fail countless times, but as long as the final attempt is successful, that suffices. I do not wish to regret waiting until another girl wins over Wang Yu. Ren Ningxuang appeared remarkably composed in front of her roommates, unabashedly revealing her affection for Wang Yu. Her words rendered the dormitory silent once more, prompting her companions to reflect upon their 3 years of close companionship, realizing how little they truly understood one another. Was this still the same school beauty, indifferent to men? She seemed utterly transformed. At that moment, Ren Ningxuang glanced at the time, rose from her seat, changed her attire, and stepped out of the dormitory. Her roommates exchanged puzzled glances, with one inquiring, "Ningxuang, are you off to tutor students again? You usually leave around 3 in the afternoon. Why so early today?" Another chimed in, "Yes, Ningxuang, why not take a break? You're working part-time during the day and again at night. It seems excessive. It makes us feel rather inadequate." Concerned, her roommate added, "Please, just rest for a day. Working so much could take a toll on your health. Besides, there has been quite a bit of talk about you lately. Why not postpone your shift until tomorrow?" Ren Ningxuang turned back toward the dorm, a radiant smile gracing her features as she replied, "I'm heading to work early so that I can return sooner and have time to find Wang Yu. If that other girl seizes the opportunity while I'm away, I would regret it immensely. I'll see you all later this evening." With that, she gracefully departed. The remaining roommates exchanged glances, uncertain of what to make of the situation. The afternoon sun bathed the basketball court as Wang Yu and a few friends energetically engaged in the game. Wang Yu skillfully dribbled the ball, effortlessly breaching the defense, culminating in a powerful slam dunk. Under the influence of the basketball star aura, he played with an unstoppable brilliance reminiscent of Kobe Bryant. After an intense match concluded, the players gathered on the sidelines to recuperate. Niu Ben panted heavily, while the tall one wiped the sweat from his brow. Zheng Zhen leaned closer to Wang Yu, teasingly asking, "When did you become such a basketball prodigy? Did you secretly practice alone over the summer?" Wang Yu nonchalantly replied, "I was merely letting you all have your fun." "Keep pretending," Zheng Zhen retorted, adding, "By the way, that was Ren Ningxuang, the acknowledged goddess of the university. You just turned down her advances? Don't you have any regrets?" "I certainly wouldn't have refused." Wang Yu chuckled, taking a sip from his water bottle, and stated, "What is there to regret? I'm simply not interested in her. She is the goddess that many dream of. You just let her slip away." Niu Ben chimed in. The tall one, flexing his robust arms, remarked, "Wang Yu isn't interested, so he has done nothing wrong. She is indeed the goddess of the university. Many would crave the chance to get close to her." Zheng Zhen, clearly perplexed, responded, "It's evident you don't understand Wang Yu's perspective. There are countless women in the world. There is no need to pursue her specifically," Wang Yu asserted, shaking his head. Zheng Zhen scoffed, saying, "If I had the chance to speak with her, I certainly wouldn't let it pass by." Wang Yu then stood up, gazing out at the court, declaring, "Right now, I'm more focused on how to improve my game." As Wang Yu swiftly dribbled the ball towards the court, he leapt high into the air, gracefully sending the ball into the hoop. A splendid three-pointer. Oh, how handsome my idol is. I caught a glimpse of his chiseled abs. I feel faint. Wang Yu's striking figure elicited a chorus of excited shrieks from numerous girls present. Chapter 84. This woman is terrifyingly persistent at that moment. A cool voice resonated. "Wang Yu, over here." Upon hearing this, Wang Yu turned his head. Beneath the shade of a tree, not far from the court, stood a lady in a light pink dress. Waving at him, it was Ren Ningxiang, who had hurried back after tutoring students. Wang Yu furrowed his brow. Why was she here again, despite his previous rejections? Ren Ningxiang shamelessly approached him once more. He couldn't help but admire her audacity. No wonder she managed to marry into a wealthy family in his past life. While Ren Ningxiang continued to wave at Wang Yu, he showed no intention of approaching her. Pouting slightly, she held a bottle of water, seemingly deflated, and then jogged over, careful to maintain her dress. By the time she reached Wang Yu, she was slightly breathless, her once fair complexion now flushed, and a sheen of sweat adorned her forehead. Wang Yu couldn't help but feel a twinge of irritation. Her acting skills were impressive. With a physique of 90 points, she surpassed many men. Yet her performance was a tad too convincing. "It's Ren Ningxiang again. They say she has no interest in men. Yet here, she is, shamelessly pursuing wealthy individuals," he mused. Indeed, she had been criticized heavily online, yet she still had the audacity to seek out his idol. Rumors circulated that Ren Ningxiang could be easily won over with money. "You all misunderstand her. She and Wang Yu are childhood friends. When she fell for someone else, Wang Yu grew disillusioned. Now that she regrets her decision, he has moved on. It's a classic case of chasing a husband in a burning marriage, someone remarked. The students watching Wang Yu and his friends play basketball also took note of Ren Ningxiang's arrival, and whispers filled the air, their volume unabashedly loud, showing no regard for the lady in question. Both Wang Yu and Ren Ningxiang could clearly hear the gossip, yet she appeared remarkably unfazed, smiling brightly as if she hadn't heard a word. Looking up at Wang Yu, she said, "I waved at you earlier. Why didn't you come over? It's such a scorching sun. I had to run all the way here." Wang Yu gazed at her slightly flushed cheeks and her bright, clear eyes, reminiscent of a pristine spring, free from impurities. Her long, lustrous black hair cascaded over her shoulders, and her cherry-red lips glistened like a ripe cherry, alluring and vivid. Wang Yu gestured toward the surrounding crowd and replied nonchalantly, "What are they saying? Just some bored people spouting nonsense online. You needn't pay them any mind." Ren Ningxiang beamed in response, while Wang Yu listened to the chatter around him. In the school forum, he did not pay attention, and thus remained oblivious to the unfolding events. However, from the remarks made by these individuals, Wang Yu could easily discern that the criticism was directed towards Ren Ningxiang. It appeared that her reputation had been thoroughly tarnished. The origin of the matter seemed to stem from his midday refusal of Ren Ningxiang, which had consequently invited such controversy upon her. Ren Ningxiang, seemingly unfazed, smiled and remarked, "Are you concerned about me?" "You think too much," Wang Yu replied, somewhat at a loss for words. "I shall take that as you caring for me," Ren Ningxiang said, lowering her head shyly, her delicate white hands entwined together. With a hint of bashfulness in her tone, she added, "How annoying. I'm a bit embarrassed now." Before Wang Yu could react, Ren Ningxiang produced a bottle of a chilled beverage from behind her and handed it to him, saying, "I know you must be tired from playing basketball, so I prepared a bottle of ice-cold drink for you. Please drink it quickly." Wang Yu regarded her coolly. This woman was indeed troublesome. "You should hold on to it, otherwise it will lose its chill soon," Ren Ningxiang smiled. Wang Yu stared at the frosty beverage before him, instinctively swallowing. Although he felt a strong desire to drink it, he refrained from reaching out. Observing Ren Ningxiang's eager expression, he raised his gaze and shot her a warning look, asking, "What exactly do you want?" Wang Yu directly posed the question that puzzled him. In his previous life, Ren Ningxiang did not begin dating until she was nearly graduating from university. Why was she pursuing him so early now? Was it due to the influence of the entry? Was his charm, now, so substantial? Ren Ningxiang's behavior was far from ordinary. She did not resemble a mere gold digger, nor did she seem solely attracted by his allure. On the contrary, there was a cunningness about her that permeated her demeanor. The more she acted this way, the more Wang Yu sensed something was amiss. Hence, he boldly inquired about her intentions. "I like you," Ren Ningxiang stated bluntly. "Just give me a chance. I've inquired, and you don't have a girlfriend in university. Didn't I just refuse you?" Wang Yu started to say, but was interrupted by Ren Ningxiang. "As you mentioned earlier, whether I like you or not is my concern, and pursuing you is also my affair. Besides, am I unattractive? If I were your girlfriend, wouldn't that reflect well on you? Are you not even slightly tempted? After all, I am a schoolbelle." Ren Ningxiang playfully winked and pouted her rosy lips, declaring, "I won't care whether you agree or not. I am determined to pursue you, and no one can stop me." "Wait, hold on." Wang Yu was utterly taken aback. He never anticipated that Ren Ningxiang would be so relentless. Discarding all pretense of being the esteemed schoolbelle, Ren Ningxiang continued, "I am your senior. If we were to date, it would surely enhance your status at the university." With her large, expressive eyes wide open, she earnestly added, "Now, please drink the beverage. It's losing its chill." Wang Yu gazed at her intently, furrowing his brow. Ren Yangshuang gazed intently into Wang Yu's eyes, her face adorned with a playful smile, the corners of her lips slightly upturned, exuding both confidence and a touch of charm. Wang Yu reached out to accept the beverage, casually expressing his gratitude. "Thank you." His heart softened, undoubtedly influenced by the sweltering summer heat of Magic City. It was hard to resist a chilled drink after a session of exercise. Upon receiving the drink, he unscrewed the cap and took a sip. The refreshing chill, infused with a hint of lime, instantly alleviated the summer's warmth, a flavor he particularly relished. He exhaled deeply, feeling invigorated. "How is it? Delicious, isn't it?" Ren Yangshuang observed with delight as Wang Yu savored the drink she had offered. Her smile radiated joy as she continued, "This is my favorite lime flavor. I wonder if you like it." With anticipation dancing in her eyes, she awaited his response. Wang Yu lowered his gaze to meet hers, his expression unwittingly softening. He was not immune to the charms of such a captivating beauty. Faced with her earnest affection and cheerful demeanor, he found it challenging to refuse her advances. A flutter of emotions was, after all, inevitable. It's quite refreshing. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. Wang Yu's tones softened considerably. As long as you enjoy it. Rin Yangshuang, noticing the shift in his demeanor, beamed with delight, her eyes crescent-shaped with happiness. Since you like it, I shall bring you more next time. No need for that. Wang Yu instinctively attempted to decline. However, Rin Yangshuang was undeterred, interrupting him with determination. It's settled then. I'll be watching you play from under the shade of the trees. Go for it. With that, she offered him an encouraging gesture before swiftly turning and dashing toward the shade, leaving behind only a fleeting silhouette. The gentle breeze caressed her long hair, which flowed like a silken ribbon in the wind, leaving a faint trace of fragrance in the air. Wang Yu's expression grew contemplative as he regarded the drink in his hand. He had initially wished to avoid any entanglement with Rin Yangshuang, yet the allure of such a vibrant young woman was hard to resist. He pulled out his phone and logged onto the campus network, his attention immediately captured by a plethora of posts filling the screen. He scrolled down, quickly skimming through the content. The situation had arisen because of him, and the criticisms directed at him were numerous. He could not simply feign ignorance. Yet, Rin Yangshuang appeared unaffected by the negative remarks. Was it her remarkable mental fortitude or something else? Wang Yu shook his head and returned to the basketball court. As Wang Yu and his friends, including Niu Ben, engaged in spirited play, Rin Yangshuang watched with unwavering focus. Each time Wang Yu scored, she cheered enthusiastically like a devoted fan, her excitement palpable. Suddenly, a commotion erupted at the entrance of the court as a group clad in athletic were made their way in. Leading the pack was a towering figure, a muscular man standing nearly 6 feet 3 inches tall, dressed in loose-fitting sports attire, his broad shoulders and robust frame scanning the area. Sha Wenxuan's gaze settled on Rin Yangshuang, his eyes fixated on her, filled with an unmistakable fascination. Subsequently, Sha Wenxuan retracted his gaze and, accompanied by a group of individuals, strode directly towards Wang Yu, crossing his arms and wearing a visage full of indignation. You, I have heard you are pursuing Ning Shuang. Wang Yu furrowed his brow and remained silent. Who doesn't know that I have long been in pursuit of Ning Shuang? How dare you vie for her affections? It's utterly reckless. Sha Wenxuan continued. Upon hearing this, Zhang Zhun immediately stepped forward and exclaimed, Who are you to meddle in our affairs? Sha Wenxuan, not even casting a glance at Zhang Zhun, disdainfully replied, I am Sha Wenxuan. You would do well to recognize your place. Who is Sha Wenxuan anyway? Never heard of him. Niu Ben scoffed. Sha Wenxuan's expression turned icy as he fixed his gaze upon Wang Yu, stating, My father is a leader in the business school. Those who know better should keep their distance from Ning Shuang. I am not someone you can provoke. Wang Yu regarded him as if he were a simpleton and replied nonchalantly, Who I choose to befriend is not for you to decide. Oomph. Sha Wenxuan snorted coldly, declaring, Do you really think Ning Shuang would look at you? Don't delude yourself. I am the one most deserving of her. Whether one is deserving or not is not for you to determine. Wang Yu responded coolly. You, Sha Wenxuan clenched his fists and said, In that case, let us settle this on a basketball court. Real men compete. Consider yourself fortunate. Wang Yu nodded. I was just feeling bored playing, so let us have a few matches. The group before them appeared to be a basketball team, each member brimming with muscle. Wang Yu felt that his previous games with Zhang Zhun and the others lacked excitement. He had yet to fully unleash the capabilities of his basketball star attribute. He hoped these individuals possessed some skill. Otherwise, the game would be rather dull. Soon after, Wang Yu and Sha Wenxuan, each leading their teams, took to the court. Niu Ben patted Wang Yu on the shoulder, his expression tense as he said, Don't worry. Old Wang, we will definitely win. Trust me, we can't lose. Wang Yu nodded in agreement. As the match commenced, Sha Wenxuan initiated the play, swiftly dribbling towards the hoop. He charged forward, each movement laced with provocation, his gaze often dismissively sweeping over Wang Yu and his teammates. He approached the basket, leaped high, and executed a stunning slam dunk, the basketball crashing into the net. Did you see that? That is true power. Sha Wenxuan bellowed, his face radiating pride. Ever since the cafeteria rumor spread that Ning Shuang had taken the initiative to pursue Wang Yu, he had been simmering with frustration. How could the goddess he yearned for be so easily discarded by someone else? Upon learning that Wang Yu was playing here, he had brought his friends from the business school basketball team, seeking to vent his anger. What if he was wealthy? In the end, he would lose to me. What would he possibly compete with? Let Ning Shuang see that this fellow is nothing but affluent. Ning Shuang will inevitably belong to me. Witnessing Sha Wenxuan's score, Ning Shuang's face paled with anxiety as she shouted, Wang Yu, go for it, go for it. Her hands clenched tightly, her eyes fixed intently on the court. Upon hearing Ning Shuang's cheers, Sha Wenxuan's expression darkened, deepening his animosity towards Wang Yu. Wang Yu observed the arrogant demeanor of Sha Wenxuan, a slight smile gracing his lips as he remarked, You celebrate for just one ball? In that fleeting moment, Sha Wenxuan sensed a shift in Wang Yu's aura, which suddenly became sharp and fierce, akin to a sword unsheathed. After seizing the ball, Wang Yu skillfully maneuvered it for a few steps, then retreated, his feet landing outside the three-point line. The basketball arched beautifully through the air, accurately piercing the net. Impressive, Niu Ben exclaimed. It seems I underestimated you. Witnessing Wang Yu's precise shot, Sha Wenxuan's expression grew serious as he acknowledged, Well done. Wang Yu gracefully darted across the court, effortlessly breaking through the defenses of Sha Wenxuan and his companions. Thanks to his exquisite skills and keen insight, he pressed forward, sinking several consecutive shots, each one leaving Sha Wenxuan increasingly astonished. Dunk, dunk, and another dunk. The male deity looks so handsome playing. I adore it. A voice exclaimed. He is equally charming even off the court, you know. Come on, Wang Yu. The spectators outside the court erupted with cheers as Sha Wenxuan watched Wang Yu's continuous scoring. His expression darkened, revealing traces of jealousy and resentment. Why must Wang Yu possess both charm and wealth while excelling at basketball as well? He felt an unwillingness to accept this. Swish! Another shot fell through the net. The final score stood at 5-1. After Wang Yu scored yet again, he turned to Sha Wenxuan, his gaze brimming with provocation. Is there any need for more competition? Sha Wenxuan, feeling helpless and despondent, looked back at Wang Yu. Wang Yu's eyes reflected disdain as he calmly stated, You lost. Fury and indignation swelled within Sha Wenxuan, his mind swirling with the echo of, You lost, you lost. You have completely lost. You have embarrassed yourself before Ning Shuang. His face flushed crimson, heat radiating from his body. Chapter 86. A decisive conclusion. Sha Wenxuan's face reddened further, his anger boiling as he signaled his basketball team to take action. The nearby teammates exchanged glances and nodded slightly. What are you planning? Niu Ben keenly sensed their intentions and shouted. However, Sha Wenxuan's companions paid no heed to Niu Ben and swiftly charged towards Wang Yu. Damn it! Are they foolish? Unable to win at basketball, they resort to violence. Zhang Zhen, caught off guard, received a punch to the face, stumbling backward in pain. Witnessing this, Wang Yu prepared to teach these individuals a lesson, eager to showcase his extraordinary skills. At that moment, a towering figure roared like an enraged bull, charging forward. Standing at nearly 2 meters tall, he was muscular and robust from years of training. He reached Sha Wenxuan and swung his fist directly at his face. Bang! Blood gushed from Sha Wenxuan's face, causing him to stagger backward. Seeing that the giant had engaged, Wang Yu immediately joined the fray. His agility was unmatched, delivering punch after punch, leaving Sha Wenxuan's teammates bloodied and battered. Under Wang Yu's immense strength, none could withstand even a single blow. Before long, the entire basketball team was sprawled across the scorching floor, wailing in agony. How could he possess such strength? Caution! Sha Wenxuan watched helplessly as his teammates were utterly overpowered by Wang Yu and the towering figure beside him, a mixture of anger and anxiety swelling within him. Observing Wang Yu's relentless punches, he realized he was no match, and thus dared not approach, merely shouting in fury, If you dare to lay a finger on us, my father is the department head. Prepare to be expelled. Wang Yu, upon hearing Sha Wenxuan's words, sneered inwardly. It was they who had initiated the conflict. Even if Wang Yu had attacked first, what of it? He possessed both wealth and power. Could he truly be intimidated by this so-called department head? If he were to back down, he would rather end it all than suffer such humiliation as a member of the illustrious Transcendent. Niu Ben glared at them, asserting, We are merely defending ourselves. It is you who should face consequences for your unprovoked assault. Today, no matter how high your father's position may be, it won't shield you from our retaliation. The towering figure echoed his sentiments loudly. Sha Wenxuan wished to resist further, but the blows from the towering figure had left him dizzy and powerless to rise. Lying on the ground, he could only groan in pain, his face a mask of anger and resentment. Wang Yu regarded the fallen Sha Wenxuan coolly, stating, Do not mistake your father's position as a shield. Even if he were the principal, I would not hesitate to strike. Should you provoke me again, it will not end so easily. Ren Ning Shuang rushed over from the sidelines, her eyes filled with worry and urgency. She reached Wang Yu's side, grasping his hand tightly, scrutinizing him for any injuries, her gaze brimming with concern. Wang Yu, are you all right? Her voice trembled slightly, tears glistening in her eyes. Wang Yu, feeling a surge of emotion, reassured her, I'm fine, do not fret. Ning Shuang lifted her gaze to Wang Yu's face, her eyes scanning him repeatedly as she murmured, Are you truly unscathed? With so many of them. Are you sure you're not hurt? As she spoke, she gently stroked his arm, as if fearful of any injury he might have sustained. Wang Yu, witnessing her genuine anxiety, felt warmth in his heart. He comforted her, I assure you, I am perfectly fine. Sha Wenxuan, struggling to rise from the ground, spat with venom. Wang Yu, just you wait, this isn't over. Seeing Ning Shuang's concern for Wang Yu ignited a fiery jealousy within him, his eyes nearly blazing with rage. Upon hearing Sha Wenxuan's words, Ning Shuang turned to face him, her expression filled with disdain. Clinging tightly to Wang Yu's hand, she declared, Sha Wenxuan, cease your unreasonable antics. I have feelings for Wang Yu. This does not involve you. Sha Wenxuan's face twisted in anger as he bellowed. Ning Shuang, how can you possibly like him? I'm the one who deserves you. What does he have that I lack? Sha Wenxuan, stop deluding yourself. You are nothing but a clown. Wang Yu retorted with a sneer. Ning Shuang coldly added, Please do not pursue me any further. I will never have feelings for you. Wang Yu paid no heed to Sha Wenxuan's harsh words, turning away with Ren Yangshuang and Zheng Zhun as they prepared to leave the basketball court. Ren Yangshuang anxiously addressed Wang Yu, stating, I have nothing to do with him. It is Sha Wenxuan who has persistently pursued me despite my numerous rejections. I am fine. Wang Yu replied indifferently. The chaos on the basketball court drew the attention of many onlookers, intrigued by Wang Yu, the rising star who had garnered immense popularity since the beginning of the term. Whispers filled the air around them. So this is Wang Yu. Apart from his prowess in fighting, he doesn't seem particularly special. He is so handsome. Wang Yu truly deserves the title of the campus idol. Look, Ren Yangshuang is over there. Is Wang Yu fighting because of her? Oh no. Does that mean Wang Yu and Ren Yangshuang are together? I have no chance now. I have high-definition photos of Wang Yu for sale, 100 yuan each. You won't regret it. Perfect for practicing hand speed. Ladies, come quickly. Wang Yu paid no attention to these remarks, and as they exited the court, preparing to return to their dormitory, they heard Sha Wenxuan's cries from behind. Dad, they're the ones who attacked me. Stop right there. Which department are you from? You think you can assault someone and just run away? Upon hearing the furious roar of the department head, Sha Ruijin, Wang Yu paused and slowly turned around. Sha Ruijin approached them, his face contorted with anger, while Sha Wenxuan continued to embellish his tale of woe at his side. Sha Ruijin pointed at Wang Yu and the others, exclaiming loudly, You have some nerve. Assaulting someone in broad daylight at school is utterly lawless. I will ensure you face the consequences. I will have you all expelled. With his hands clasped behind his back, the department head strode forward, a stern expression etched on his face as he glared at Wang Yu and his companions. The students surrounding the basketball court instinctively fell silent, standing upright, curious about how the department head would handle the situation. Wang Yu furrowed his brow upon realizing that Sha Wenxuan was indeed Sha Ruijin's son. No wonder he was so audacious. He understood that this incident would require a decisive resolution. In his previous life, Wang Yu harbored a profound disdain for the Sha Ruijin, who often leveraged his authority to oppress and bully impoverished students, even withholding their financial aid. He would demean ordinary-looking impoverished female students, striking at their self-esteem with his words. Conversely, when faced with those of slightly better appearance, he would exploit his power to create opportunities for inappropriate physical contact. Impoverished students, already sensitive, often felt compelled to endure such treatment. Many female students, fearful for their financial aid, would tolerate the situation as long as it did not escalate too far. Some, unable to bear such indignities, would fight back, only for Sha Ruijin to leverage his connections to report them to the school, branding them as openly disrespectful to authority figures with poor moral character. Ultimately, they faced penalties or even expulsion. The remaining impoverished students, witnessing Sha Ruijin's unchecked authority, could only swallow their grievances and continue to endure. Chapter 87. The end is quietly approaching. After this incident, Sha Ruijin completely shed his facade of hypocrisy. He became increasingly brazen on campus, routinely tormenting the impoverished students. He dared not target others, only those of lesser means, deliberately picking on the softest of targets. He calculated that they, driven by financial need and academic aspirations, would be compelled to endure his abuses. These financially struggling scholars, filled with a thirst for knowledge and dreams of altering their destinies, had unwittingly stepped into a nightmarish reality upon entering the gates of the university. Subsequently, a series of reprehensible incidents circulated among the student body. Rumors spread that Shah Ruijin had shockingly perpetrated heinous acts against female students, and not merely one. Most of these young women hailed from destitute backgrounds, isolated and defenseless. After enduring such atrocities, some were threatened into silence with promises of financial aid and academic prospects, while others were paralyzed with fear, unsure of how to proceed. However, the truth cannot remain concealed indefinitely. The prolonged oppression and humiliation ignited a fierce anger within the impoverished students. No longer willing to be lambs led to slaughter, they rallied each other, collectively reporting Shah Ruijin's numerous transgressions to the school and the police. The authorities took the reports seriously, swiftly launching an investigation that meticulously unraveled the sinister facade behind Shah Ruijin's hypocritical demeanor. With irrefutable evidence amassed, Shah Ruijin was finally apprehended. Awaiting him was the cold embrace of prison life, where he would spend the remainder of his days in repentance and atonement. As the old adage goes, the king of hell is easy to meet, but the little ghosts are troublesome. Some individuals, wielding a modicum of power, seize opportunities to assert their superiority. Striving to display their elevated status, they exhibit a blatant detachment from the common populace. Lacking genuine talent, they maintain an air of superiority, having mastered the art of vanity. This grotesque visage is utterly revolting. In this life, Wang Yu, having foreseen the beastly nature of this man, would not easily let him slip away. He resolved to ensure Shah Ruijin would not enjoy another day of freedom, intent on sending this scoundrel to prison to languish. At that moment, Shah Ruijin pointed accusingly at Wang Yu and others, his eyes brimming with fury, demanding, "Who gave you the audacity to strike within the school? Which department do you belong to?" Upon hearing this, the tall student erupted with rage, stepping forward to assert, "Director Shah, the situation is not as you perceive. It was Shah Wenxuan and his group who provoked us first, initiating the violence that left Zheng Jun battered and bruised. We were merely acting in self-defense." Yet Wang Yu merely cast a calm glance at Shah Ruijin. That gaze seemed to pierce through his very soul, tranquil as water, yet imbued with boundless strength, causing Shah Ruijin to shudder inexplicably. This indifferent look acted like a sharp dagger, striking deep into Shah Ruijin's fragile and sensitive pride. He had risen from a humble county to his current standing, coming from an ordinary background, in this university teeming with the signs of wealth. He felt akin to an ugly duckling amidst a flock of swans, deeply out of place. The cold stares and contempt he had endured over the years gradually eroded his spirit, ultimately warping him into this loathsome figure. He redirected all his long-suppressed frustrations onto the even more vulnerable, impoverished student populace. Observing their expressions of silent fury, his vanity experienced immense satisfaction. The meekness of the impoverished students only served to further amplify his arrogant demeanor. Wang Yu, he had long been aware of him. The wealthy were not individuals he wished to provoke. Yet, now that Wang Yu had erred, the leverage was firmly in his grasp, filling him with exhilaration. What significance did wealth hold? What did it matter if one drove an Apollo? They were still destined for expulsion at his hands. Thus, when he learned that his son had been struck by Wang Yu, he hastily sought to confront him. However, all he received in return was a mere indifferent glance from Wang Yu, neither contemptuous nor imbued with any other sentiment. Merely a placid gaze reminiscent of an upper echelon observing an insignificant ant. It was as though Wang Yu had penetrated the fade he had meticulously constructed over the years. In that instant, Shah Ruijin felt as if he had been struck by a bolt of lightning, suddenly transported back to his arrival at the financial university, feeling weak, insecure, and helpless once more. Shah Ruijin was utterly enraged. His lips quivered with fury as he finally managed to utter, even if he initiated the altercation, "It is for the school to address. It is not for you to take matters into your own hands. Director Shah, you cannot show such blatant favoritism towards your son." Shah Wenxuan was clearly in the wrong. "We have done nothing amiss," Ren Ningxiang interjected, unable to contain herself. Shah Ruijin shot her a glare, retorting, "Mind your own business. I see you are not virtuous either, mingling with them. You shall be expelled as well." "Director Shah, how can you be so unreasonable?" Ren Ningxiang exclaimed in exasperation. Niu Ben, witnessing Shah Ruijin's obstinacy, felt a surge of indignation. He stepped forward and said, "Director, do you not fear the repercussions of your actions? I believe there are just individuals within the school who will not allow you to act with such impunity." Xia Ruijin paid no heed to Wang Yu's words, turning to those beside him, instructing, "Take them all to my office. I will deal with this matter properly." At that moment, an elder emerged from the crowd, his voice resonating like thunder. "Director Xia, I witnessed the entire incident. It was Xia Wenxuan and his cohort who initiated the violence, while Wang Yu and his companions acted in self-defense. As a department head, you must not show such bias towards your own son." Upon recognizing the elder, Xia Ruijin was taken aback. The individual was none other than the esteemed Professor Qin Shiming, a figure of great respect within the institution. This venerable professor had devoted his life to academia, dismissing fame and fortune, and had cultivated a legacy of students over several decades, earning unparalleled prestige. Even Xia Ruijin, as department head, had to defer to him. "Director Xia, this matter concerns the integrity and fairness for the students. You must handle it with utmost care and avoid letting personal bias lead you to decisions that violate ethical standards and disregard justice. Otherwise, it will not only chill the hearts of these students, but also shatter the trust that all the scholars of this institution place in it," Professor Qin stated solemnly, fixing a serious gaze upon Xia Ruijin. Listening to Professor Qin's admonition, Xia Ruijin's expression fluctuated, shifting from green to pale, reminiscent of a dramatic change in a traditional opera. He opened his mouth, eager to argue, yet found himself at a loss for words. All he could do, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, was to snort coldly and maintain his dignity by saying, "In that case, I will investigate thoroughly before proceeding. You all may return for now." Wang Yu cast a chilling smile at Xia Ruijin, his lips curving into a frosty arc as he coldly remarked, "Director Xia, I trust you will handle this matter with fairness. Enjoy your final moments of freedom." At these words, Xia Ruijin felt an inexplicable sense of unease. Yet he could not grasp the meaning, dismissing Wang Yu's words as empty bravado. After speaking, Wang Yu turned to Professor Qin, his expression transforming from sternness to genuine gratitude. He approached Professor Qin with swift strides, slightly bowing, and sincerely expressed, "Professor Qin, thank you for your assistance." Professor Qin waved his hand with a gentle smile, replying, "No need for thanks. I cannot abide by the distortion of truth. Rest assured, now that I have stepped forward, this matter will be handled justly." Ren Ningxue, her eyes filled with respect, declared, "Professor Qin, we believe in you." With Professor Qin's assurance, the anxious hearts of Ren Ningxue, Zheng Zhen, and others began to settle. As they prepared to leave this place of turmoil, Xia Ruijin remained rooted in place, his countenance dark as if it could drip with gloom. He watched helplessly as Wang Yu and the others departed, feeling a profound sense of resentment. Yet, under Professor Qin's imposing presence, he could only swallow his pride for the time being, consumed by thoughts of how to reclaim his son's honor and restore his own face. Little did he realize, his downfall was silently approaching. Chapter 88, Greed Business School. Dean's office. Wang Yu stood at the door and knocked. "Come in," a deep voice responded from within. Upon hearing the invitation, Wang Yu pushed open the door and entered with steady steps. The dean's office was tastefully simple, devoid of excessive opulence. A deep brown solid-wood desk was positioned by the window, neatly arranged with a computer, documents, and several frequently used pens. Seated behind the desk was a middle-aged man, appearing to be in his 40s, slightly portly, with a distinctive receding hairline complemented by a protruding belly, exuding an air of someone accustomed to authority. He sat there, engrossed in the documents in his hands. Observing this, Wang Yu exhibited no impatience, taking a seat on the sofa and patiently waiting. After a brief moment, Dean Shen finally lifted his head, his gaze landing on Wang Yu, a flicker of curiosity crossing his features. "Student, what brings you here?" "Hello, Dean Shen. I am Wang Yu, a third-year student from the business school." Wang Yu introduced himself, rising from the sofa. "Wang Yu?" Dean Shen furrowed his brow, contemplating for a moment before responding. "I know you. You made quite a stir when you arrived at our university in an Apollo." He scrutinized Wang Yu once more, his gaze appraising. "What brings you to my office?" "I have a matter I would like to discuss with you." Wang Yu smiled slightly and remarked, "As a student of the Finance University, I have been profoundly influenced by the educational philosophy of our institution over the past few years. The guidance and exemplary conduct of my professors, along with the rich atmosphere of learning, have deepened my sense of identification and belonging to our school. I have been contemplating the need to contribute something tangible to the institution." At this point, Wang paused briefly, his gaze fixed intently on Dean Shen. Coincidentally, I have some spare funds, and I wish to extend my modest support to the school. Wang Yu stated directly, I am prepared to donate 10 million yuan to express my respect for the institution. What are your thoughts on this, Dean? 10 million? Dean Shun was taken aback, his expression unable to maintain its composure. He scrutinized Wang Yu from head to toe. Subsequently, Dean Shun slowly nodded, a look of gratification emerging on his face as he remarked, as a student of this school, it brings me great joy to witness such generosity. It validates the investment our institution has made in you over the years. A glimmer of insight flickered in Dean Shen's eyes as he added thoughtfully, however, I would like to ascertain whether this donation is entirely your own decision or if it is influenced by your family. It is entirely my own initiative. Will your family have any objections? Wang Yu smiled nonchalantly and replied, Dean, you need not worry. I am quite capable of managing this modest sum. So you can rest assured. Upon hearing this, Dean Shen's eyes brightened, and a broader smile spread across his face. He rose from his seat and walked over to Wang Yu, sitting down beside him, beaming with delight as he tentatively inquired. Thank you for your generous contribution to the school, Wang. If you have any requests, please feel free to express them. We will do our utmost to accommodate you within our capabilities. Well, I do have a few requests, Wang Yu stated candidly. Of course, my donation of 10 million is also aimed at enhancing the school's development. What do you have in mind? Dean Shun chuckled softly and replied, You know, those of us in your position often carry the weight of expectations from our families. Wang Yu replied calmly, Therefore, during my time at university, I intend to embark on an entrepreneurial venture. However, as you are aware, the myriad responsibilities of a startup can be overwhelming, and I may not always have the time to devote to my studies. I hope you can be accommodating in this regard. In truth, Wang Yu harbored ulterior motives. He intended to leverage his connection with the dean to expose the misdeeds of Sha Ruijin in advance. His goal was to remove Sha's position as the department head, thereby clearing the path for subsequent investigations by relevant authorities. After all, with such a powerful figure in place, investigations would not proceed easily and would consume considerable time. Wang Yu reflected that he might as well address his academic concerns simultaneously, as he would inevitably be occupied with company affairs in the future and unable to spend his days immersed in studies. Dean Shun promptly grasped Wang Yu's intentions. It was clear that Wang Yu did not wish to squander time at the university. He was not surprised. Each year, numerous wealthy heirs sought him out for similar reasons. These affluent offspring, accustomed to a life of leisure, find it quite challenging to genuinely devote themselves to their studies. Wang Yu, however, merely sought to alleviate the burdens of academia, offering a sum of 10 million. Dean Shun was momentarily taken aback. Instinctively, he glanced at the Vacheron Constantin watch adorning Wang Yu's wrist, his throat swallowing hard as he licked his lips, a fleeting glimmer of greed passing through his gaze. For Wang Yu, this amount appeared trivial. If he could extract a greater donation from him, such a substantial figure would undoubtedly not land directly in his hands. Yet if the funds passed through his possession, it would resemble a banking system. Numerous individuals deposit their money without loss, while the bank reaps substantial profits. With each transaction, the potential for personal gain was considerable. Dean Shen's mind began to race. The more Wang Yu donated, the greater the benefits for him. After a moment of contemplation, he furrowed his brow slightly, adopting a feigned expression of difficulty as he remarked, This matter presents quite a challenge, doesn't it? Mr. Wang, as you are aware, the institution certainly prefers that students do not merely drift through their time here without acquiring knowledge. Wang Yu nodded in understanding. Moreover, our esteemed university's motto emphasizes the cultivation of virtue and talent, and for decades, our rigorous educational philosophy has taken root in the hearts of many. Dean Shun, with a furrowed brow, lamented, Mr. Wang, I understand your desire for special treatment, but given the current circumstances, executing such a request poses significant challenges. Wang Yu's expression shifted. What did Dean Shun mean by not easy to manage? To put it plainly, it was not a matter of feasibility, but rather a question of whether the stakes offered were sufficient. Observing the rotund Dean Shun before him, Wang Yu could not suppress a cold smirk within. If 10 million was beneath his notice, his appetite was indeed insatiable. Wang Yu, concealing his disdain, allowed a gentle smile to grace his lips as he calmly stated, Since you have mentioned educational philosophy, I would like to address another matter. Wang Yu regarded Dean Shun earnestly. Most leaders and educators within the institution are diligent and responsible, which I deeply admire. However, as the old saying goes, in a vast forest, there are all kinds of birds. Inevitably, a few charlatans infiltrate the ranks. Some morally corrupt individuals, abusing their authority, engage in egregious misconduct, oppressing and even humiliating students. To wield the power entrusted by the people against them is utterly reprehensible. Wang Yu continued, I urge the dean to report to the school's disciplinary committee to thoroughly investigate the faculty. Our university cannot tolerate the presence of such individuals, or else the prestige we have built over decades may be irrevocably tarnished. Initially, Dean Shun bore a somewhat dismissive expression, but it gradually transformed into one of gravity. He straightened his posture, his demeanor turning serious as he asked, Is that so? Chapter 89, High Position Without Diligence. Wang Yu was uncertain before speaking, but now he was resolute. Before me stands Director Chun, undoubtedly privy to certain information. Yet, he chooses to remain indifferent, perhaps even complicit in safeguarding Xia Ruijin for his own benefit. It is indeed peculiar that after so many years of Xia Ruijin's tyranny within the institution, no one has intervened on his behalf. In my previous life, Wang Yu had no direct contact with Director Chun, and even after the complete exposure of Xia Ruijin's misdeeds, he remained untouched. My understanding of Director Chen's character is limited, but it is becoming evident that this old fellow is far from virtuous. A rogue of the same ilk. While Xia Ruijin's blatant misconduct is apparent, it is individuals like Director Chun who are the true parasites, lurking in the shadows. Uncovering evidence of his malfeasance is far more challenging than confronting Xia Ruijin. I would be willing to contribute an additional 10 million if the director could thoroughly investigate the teaching staff. Wang Yu paused for a moment and stated calmly, a total donation of 20 million. I trust this would be considered a significant achievement for Director Chen. 20 million. Director Chen's gaze flickered, revealing a hint of temptation. Yet he ultimately regained his composure. Even without the donation, I would report this matter to the school. It concerns the well-being of all faculty and students at the university. Rest assured, Director Chun proclaimed with righteous indignation, as the dean of the business school, I shall handle this matter with integrity. Suddenly, he let out a heavy sigh, expressing, I must admit, it is quite shameful that I remain unaware of such a significant issue, requiring you, Wang, to bring it to my attention. With a serious demeanor, he continued, however, since it pertains to the entire teaching staff, I cannot handle it directly. I must escalate it to the school administration. Wang, your donation of 20 million to the school is greatly appreciated on behalf of the institution. For students like you who are genuinely concerned about our school are indeed rare. Director Chan sighed again. Regrettably, while 20 million appears substantial, the number of impoverished students at our school far exceeds this amount. Such a sum is unlikely to attract the principal's attention to expedite a resolution. By the time I report it through the layers of administration, who knows how long it will take? Not enough. Upon hearing this, Wang Yu straightened his posture and crossed his legs, inquiring, Then what amount does Director Chen believe I should donate to capture the principal's attention? Although a smile graced his face, his eyes betrayed a coldness. This Director Chen certainly has grand aspirations. 20 million is insufficient for him. Wang Yu felt a surge of irritation, as his patience was wearing thin with this director. After a moment of contemplation, Director Chun resignedly stated, 20 million is already quite generous. It should not fall upon a single student to bear such burdens. Rest assured, as your dean, I shall address this matter appropriately. Regardless of the challenges, I will unearth this rogue and restore clarity for the students. Wang Yu could not help but smile. Director Chen's words were eloquent, yet devoid of action. By the time he attempts to resolve this issue, it is likely that Wang Yu will have graduated, and Xia Ruijin will still be reigning within the school. Wang Yu felt his fists harden. Taking a deep breath to calm himself, he then waved his hand and said, It's nothing. Dean, feel free to state your number. I know my own limits. Upon hearing Wang Yu's words, Dean Chen's face lit up with joy. Trembling, he extended his hands to grasp Wang Yu's, exclaiming, What a good student you are. Your presence is a blessing for our entire university. After a brief pause, he continued, I believe that if we could secure 1 or 2 billion, it would suffice. At this, Wang Yu's expression darkened like stormy waters. He shook off Dean Chen's hands, rose to his feet, and seized his collar. In the face of Wang Yu's superhuman strength, Dean Chun resembled a helpless chick, lifted off the ground. Coldness filled Wang Yu's gaze. Fool, did I grant you the privilege to overstep? You dare extort me? 2 billion? Greedy pig, do you truly perceive me as a child? Are you oblivious to your intentions? He had not wished to escalate matters so. However, Dean Chen's insufferable demeanor was utterly repugnant. With a slick appearance and a mind clouded by greed, as the dean of the business school, managed hundreds of faculty members and thousands of students. His thoughts and actions bore weight influencing multitudes. Yet, he was the antithesis of his position. Rather than serving the students, he was consumed by avarice, seeking to exploit his authority for personal gain. Such a figure, occupying a high position within the school, was nothing short of a malignant tumor, adversely affecting the entire faculty. The harsh reality was that a once innocent campus was now tainted by countless corruptions. What impact would this have on the students? What ramifications would it bring to society? A strong youth leads to a strong nation. A weak youth leads to a weak nation. Dean Chen's face flushed crimson, yet it was to no avail. In the prime of his life, he had neglected exercise, indulged in drinking, and was therefore no match for Wang Yu. Even with all his might, Wang Yu's grip remained unyielding, as if forged from steel. With a single motion, Wang Yu hurled Dean Shun onto the sofa, leaving him in a state of disarray. Impudent. As Dean Shun regained his composure, his face was a mask of rage, his fury reaching new heights. Since assuming the role of Dean, he had always been treated with utmost respect. Yet today, he had faced such humiliation at the hands of Wang Yu. In a fit of anger, he shouted, "You are utterly outrageous. As your dean, how dare you lay hands on me? This is insubordination. Who is your teacher, and what have they taught you? You show no respect for your elders. What use will such a student be in society? Merely a parasite, a blight. If you dare to strike me again, I will report you to the school and ensure your expulsion." "Just you?" Wang Yu replied, his eyes filled with disdain. "You still remember you are the dean? In a position of authority, serving as a role model, one should prioritize tangible contributions to the school and its students rather than solely pursuing financial gain." Wang Yu patted Dean Chen's face and said, "Do you truly believe I am unaware of your ulterior motives? How audacious you are to propose 200 million. Can you even handle that?" Subsequently, Wang leaned closer to Dean Chen's ear and whispered, "You were involved in the matters orchestrated by Xiao Ruijin, weren't you?" "Huh." Upon hearing these words, Dean Shun fell silent, his expression shifting dramatically. Ultimately, he sighed and responded, "Wang, my dear student, it seems there may be some misunderstandings between us." Chapter 90. My father is Wang Jiangwo. The 200 million I mentioned earlier was merely a suggestion to expedite the resolution of your predicament. This money bears no connection to me. As the dean of the academy, my duty is to address students' issues. That is my responsibility. How could I ever contemplate profiting from you? This matter is not one I wish to neglect, but reporting to the administration requires time, and I am but a dean. This is beyond my jurisdiction. Furthermore, I merely offered you a potential solution. Whether to donate or not is your prerogative, and I hold no authority to interfere. Dean Shin took a deep breath and spoke earnestly. "Certainly, I may not have communicated my intentions clearly, leading to your misunderstanding. That is my fault. It is perfectly natural for young individuals to exhibit a bit of temper, and I can empathize. Let us sit down and discuss any misunderstandings. You have time, do you not? Academic matters can be addressed." Wang Yu observed Dean Shin's performance with a cold chuckle. Truly, a person seasoned in the political arena for decades speaks with such finesse, managing to navigate the situation so adeptly. If it were not for Wang's conviction that Xiao Ruijin was implicated, he might have been swayed by this display of persuasion. Misunderstanding? Perhaps not. Wang responded nonchalantly. "You neglect your duties as a dean, yet you excel in the art of political maneuvering. Most would likely be deceived by your words." Wang Yu, Dean Chun, realizing his words had no effect, resorted to his authoritative position and sternly exclaimed, "Do you comprehend the gravity of your actions? You have intruded into the dean's office and dared to lay hands on the dean. Such behavior warrants severe penalties, even expulsion. Are you aware of the consequences? Will your parents not be disappointed in you? Will this not cast an unnecessary shadow upon your life?" After stating this, Dean Chen's voice lowered. "Let us consider this matter concluded. I shall pretend nothing has transpired. Young people are prone to errors, and as your mentor, I share some responsibility. You would not wish for your parents to discover that you have been expelled from school, nor to have a permanent record, would you?" Wang raised an eyebrow, amusement dancing in his eyes. "So, if the soft approach fails, you resort to intimidation?" Dean Shin's countenance darkened once more, and he shouted furiously, "Wang Yu, do not test my patience. I offer you one final opportunity." Bang! Crack! Before he could finish, Wang delivered a swift kick. A sharp crack echoed, and Dean Shun let out a cry of anguish. He felt a sharp pain in his thigh, as if it had been fractured by a kick, and he could not help but emit a scream akin to that of a slaughtered pig. Director Chen clutched his thigh, the excruciating agony rendering him irrational. He never anticipated that Wang Yu would dare to strike him. The intense pain caused his entire body to tremble, and he bellowed, "How dare you hit me? A student like you, who shows utter disregard for discipline and respect for teachers, is unworthy of attending the financial university. I shall expel you and notify the entire school." In a fit of rage, Director Chen continued, "I will also report you to the police, and you will face legal consequences. If you kneel and beg for mercy now, I might reconsider." Smack! Before he could finish his sentence, Wang Yu delivered a resounding slap to his face. Instantly, Chen's visage swelled, and he was taken aback, stumbling backward while shouting, "Help! Security! Someone call for security!" Wang Yu regarded the disheveled Director Chen with a fierce gaze. At this juncture, he still harbored threats. How ludicrous. With a swift kick, he sent Chen sprawling to the ground like refuse. Chen struggled to rise, blood soaking his body, his already grotesque face appearing even more sinister. Wang Yu brushed off his pant legs and adjusted his attire, ensuring no blood had stained his clothes before he casually settled onto the sofa. Observing the moaning Director Chen, he coolly introduced himself. "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Wang Yu. Of course, you may not be familiar with me. My father is Wang Zhangwo. Feel free to look him up online and assess his influence and connections while you still can. Otherwise, you might find yourself unable to act and dining on the cafeteria's meager offerings tonight. Cherish your final moments of freedom." Wang Yu contemptuously kicked Chen's face, indulging in his humiliation. He was genuinely incensed. Since Director Chen sought to exert his authority, Wang Yu would play along and see whose backing was more formidable. With Wang Yu's family background, as long as he did not provoke an equally powerful adversary, he could maneuver freely within Huagua. Dealing with a mere college dean was, of course, child's play. Afterward, Wang Yu strode out of the dean's office, leaving behind a cacophony of anguished cries. He retrieved his phone from his pocket and dialed his father's number. After a brief wait, the call connected. "Xiao Yu, what prompted you to call me?" Wang Zhangwo's deep voice resonated from the other end, filled with concern. "Are you short on money? Just tell me how much you need, and I'll transfer it." "Dad, I have enough money. There's just a matter at hand." Wang Yu candidly recounted the events that had transpired, leaving nothing concealed, including his initial intention to donate 20 million and the altercation with Director Chen. Every detail laid bare. Once Wang Yu finished speaking, there was a moment of silence from the other end. Then Wang Zhangwo's calm voice emerged. "You weren't injured, were you?" "No." Wang Yu shook his head in affirmation. "That's good to hear. I'll handle this matter. Just be cautious, and let me know if you need money," Wang Zhangwo continued. "Understood," Wang Yu replied before ending the call. The father of Wang did not speak further, merely providing financial support. A faint smile graced Wang Yu's lips as he reflected on his father's enduring concern. Reminiscent of their past life, always preoccupied with his financial well-being. Perhaps this is a characteristic of the older generation, despite harboring deep worries. The words that escaped their lips invariably revolved around whether he had enough money or if he had been well fed. The remaining matters no longer required Wang Yu's attention. Wang Zhangwo had made his intentions abundantly clear. He would handle the situation, signifying the complete downfall of Dean Shun and Xia Ruijin. Everything was poised to settle. His father remained steadfastly on his side, undeterred by the knowledge that Wang Yu had been in the wrong, having struck his superior first. Regardless of the shifts in their life trajectories, the affection shown to Wang Yu remained unchanged, ever protective. In the dean's office, Dean Shun ceased his agonizing cries, gingerly touching the blood on his face before rising to his feet. He realized he had only sustained superficial injuries and felt a wave of relief wash over him. He retrieved his phone, intending to contact the school's security to apprehend Wang Yu. Dean Shun was seething with fury. How dare a student lay hands on a teacher? Once Wang Yu was captured, he would ensure a thorough reckoning. Chapter 91. It's over. Everything is over. No, wait. Just as he dialed the number, before the other party could even answer, Dean Shun abruptly hung up. The words Wang Yu had spoken before departing echoed in his mind. Wang Yu had appeared remarkably composed, as if the assault meant nothing to him. Most individuals would hesitate to even insult the dean, let alone strike him. To act with such boldness and then remain unfazed, without a hint of panic, this individual was either deranged or utterly fearless. Clearly, Wang Yu was not insane. He had some form of backing. Dean Shun recalled Wang Yu arriving at school in a luxurious Apollo, adorned with a Vacheron Constantine watch, dressed in high-end fashion. These details suggested that Wang Yu was either affluent or of noble lineage. Perhaps I am overthinking this, Dean Shun thought, as his heart began to race. Blood rushing to his head, inducing a sense of unease. Initially believing Wang Yu to be merely a wealthy young man, he now pondered the complexities beneath the surface. Neglecting the bloodstains on his attire, Dean Shun hastened back to his desk and opened his computer browser. Wang Zhangwo, that should be the name. After some contemplation, he hesitantly typed the name into the search bar and clicked the mouse. The once smooth internet connection now felt excruciatingly sluggish, and he longed to smash the computer in frustration. Time felt interminable. Moments later, the screen displayed a list of all individuals named Wang Jiangwo in Huagua, with the first entry being Wang Jiangwo, male. Born in 1971 in Rhone Province, Jincheng City. Graduating from Huqing University, I joined the organization in 1990 and began my career in 1992. From July 1992 to December 1992, I served as the assistant manager of the Israeli managerial department of the China National Construction Engineering Corporation. From April 1994, I held the position of general manager at the investment company of Jincheng City, Sichuan Province, as well as chairman of the municipal investment company. In June 2008, I became the vice mayor of Jincheng City, Sichuan Province. In 2010, I ventured into business and founded the Pioneer Heavy Industry Group, where I serve as chairman of the board. The Pioneer Heavy Industry Group encompasses various sectors, including bridge construction, road maintenance, energy, and aerospace. Establishing itself as one of the significant manufacturers and suppliers of equipment and energy on the international stage. According to evaluations from relevant institutions, the valuation of the Pioneer Heavy Industry Group has surpassed $1 trillion USD. The shares held by Chairman Wang Jiangwo are valued at no less than 1 trillion Huaxia coins. Aside from these widely known facts, there is little additional information to share. Director Chen slumped in his chair, trembling uncontrollably, before finally collapsing onto the floor. The chairman of Pioneer Heavy Industry Group, a net worth in the trillions. Each fact struck Director Chen like a heavy hammer, relentlessly pounding upon him. He understood all too well what this entailed. It was beyond his capacity to bear. Wealthy individuals did not frighten him, for he was the dean of the business school at the Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. His position was already considerable, allowing him to stand shoulder to shoulder with county magistrates in certain contexts. In the presence of ordinary wealthy individuals, he felt a sense of superiority. Thus, he had the audacity to propose a donation of 200 million to Wang Yu. Even if Wang Yu, in a fit of rage, reported him, it would not significantly affect him. However, this was all predicated on the assumption of encountering typical wealthy individuals. Wang Jiangwo, evidently, did not fall into this category. Disregarding the long list of titles, there was not a single aspect he could challenge, even with a net worth in the trillions. This was not a realm where Director Chen could tread lightly. When wealth reaches a certain magnitude, it undergoes a qualitative transformation. The adage that money talks is not without merit. Wang Yu, merely by virtue of his family background, represented a figure whom Director Chen could not afford to offend. Most crucially, in a mere 8 years, Wang Jiangwo had ascended from nothing to establish the vast commercial empire that is Pioneer Heavy Industry Group, encompassing critical sectors such as energy, equipment manufacturing, and aerospace. The implications of this are self-evident. These are not industries one can simply enter by virtue of ability or desire. This attests to the Wang family's possession of foundational shares, tracing back to ancestors who traversed grasslands and snow-capped mountains. Furthermore, the Wang family now wields formidable connections and influence across all of Huaxia, ensuring that other factions cannot encroach upon their lucrative ventures. It is no wonder that Wang Yu exudes such confidence, viewing himself as above others. Throughout, he maintained an air of nonchalance, as if he had not merely approached a critical juncture, but had directly kicked the door of the underworld. Death was looming. Dean Shun, lost in thought, sat frozen like a statue. His pallid face rested against the floor as he muttered incessantly, "It's over. Everything is over." "Dean, is something wrong?" The security guard, having received a call from Dean Shun, rushed in. Upon entering, he was struck with alarm, exclaiming, "Dean Shun, who has done this to you?" However, Dean Shun paid him no heed, his gaze fixed vacantly upon the computer screen displaying Wang Jiangwo's profile. Seeing the dean's dazed expression, the guard hurriedly assisted him to a sofa, saying, "Wait here, Dean, I will call for a doctor immediately." With that, he dashed out of the dean's office. After a considerable time, Dean Shun regained his senses, only to be overwhelmed by a piercing pain that coursed through his body. Yet he seemed numb to it, his mind consumed with thoughts of how to navigate this perilous situation. He understood all too well the gravity of his actions. He did not seek to retain his position as dean of the business school. He only wished to avoid a fate of languishing in obscurity for the remainder of his life. The desire for revenge against Wang Yu had faded, replaced by a fervent wish for Wang Yu to show him mercy. Dean Shun was genuinely terrified. he had entangled himself with a formidable figure. Seek the principal. A glimmer of hope sparked in Dean Shen's eyes, only to be swiftly extinguished. No, no, the principal cannot protect me. Setting aside whether the principal could indeed shield him, Dean Shen realized that if the principal were to learn of his misdeeds, his own position would be at risk. After much contemplation, he recognized the futility of his predicament. Before a person of Wang Jiangwo's caliber, he felt as insignificant as an ant, easily crushed at will. Hesitating for a moment, he resolved to make a desperate call, dialing the number of the chief of police in Moda City. Hello, Lao Zhao, are you busy? The afternoon sun radiated warmth without harshness, gently filtering through the dappled leaves and casting a mosaic of golden light upon the ground. In the office of the principal at the Finance and Economics University, the principal's white hair gleamed more vividly under the sun's glow. He sat behind a spacious desk, gently massaging his temples, his gaze fixed on a stack of documents before him, lost in thought. Principal, all the students have arrived, aside from a few exceptional cases. The freshmen are mostly accounted for. Dormitory supplies and dining cards have also been distributed. Opposite the principal, Director Li was reporting on the progress. The military training instructors will all arrive by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and the uniforms have been communicated to the class advisors for collection. Jiang Weigua lifted his gaze to Director Li and nodded, stating, "This military training must be thoroughly implemented. We cannot allow it to become mere formalism. We must ensure that after 18 days of training, the freshmen leave with valuable experiences." He emphasized the importance of heat prevention measures. "I do not wish to see any students suffering from heat stroke during these 18 days. The necessary heat prevention supplies must be adequately prepared." Understood, Director Li affirmed. "The heat prevention supplies have been procured and will be distributed to all students. You can rest assured, Principal." Jiang Weigua's expression softened as he spoke. "The medical staff from each school must remain on standby at all times. In the event of an emergency, they must ensure they can arrive at the scene without delay." Understood, Director Li. Suddenly, the telephone on the desk rang. Jiang Weigua gestured for Director Li to sit down and wait for a moment, then picked up the phone. "Hello, this is Jiang Weigua." "Xiao Jiang, it's me," came the voice of an elderly man from the other end of the line. "Old leader." Jiang Weigua immediately straightened his back, a smile gracing his face. "It has been quite a while since we last met. Will you be free for a visit?" "Today, I call to remind you." The voice paused before continuing. "As the president of Shanghai University of Finance and Economics, you must lead by example, fulfilling your responsibilities diligently. The students at your school are the flowers of our nation. The burden on your shoulders is not light, and you must not allow complacency to take root." Jiang Weigua felt a twinge of confusion. What was the old leader implying? After contemplating for a moment, he replied with certainty, "Rest assured, old leader, throughout my years as president, I have always remembered your teachings. I have been hands-on and have never dared to let my guard down." Maintaining that initial resolve is no small feat. The old leader coughed lightly before continuing. "The school is a sanctuary. You must impose strict regulations on your subordinates. Corruption and unhealthy practices must not infiltrate the institution. This is non-negotiable. If such issues arise within the school, what will become of the children? What awaits them in society? Old leader, have I not done enough? Is there something wrong?" Jiang Weigua's brows knitted tightly, his voice tinged with anxiety. It dawned on him that this call was unusual. Surely, there must be an issue, for the old leader would not have taken the time to admonish him otherwise. The old leader had once bestowed upon him a promotion, and now he held a significant position within the central government. He would not call without reason. It could only mean that he had failed in his duties and someone had reported it upwards. "It is not that you have faltered. I have observed each step you take," the old leader's aged voice continued. "I trust you, yet with such a large administration at the school, it is inevitable that some pests may emerge. As president, it is understandable that you cannot oversee everything. The responsibility does not lie solely with you. However, you must remain vigilant and detect any signs of corruption early. Once identified, it must be swiftly eradicated. Address problems before they arise, and maintain order before chaos ensues. At your level, caution is paramount. I will heed your advice, but what exactly is the issue?" Jiang Weigua felt a sense of relief upon hearing that he was not to blame. "Do not inquire further. I have merely caught wind of some concerns and wanted to give you a heads up. You should promptly investigate the people around you. Those who are problematic must be dealt with appropriately, and necessary dismissals should be executed." The former leader spoke sternly. "Do not procrastinate. Address the matter immediately. A supervisory team has already been dispatched from above, and by the time they arrive, it will be too late. Jiang Weigua was taken aback. A supervisory team had been sent? What monumental event could warrant such urgency? It seemed far from simple. The former leader's words were rather vague. With so many faculty and students at the university, he had not heard any whispers of impending trouble. What exactly had occurred to attract the attention of the supervisory team? Jiang Weigua felt a wave of anxiety wash over him, unsure of how to proceed. He could only turn to the former leader for assistance, pleading, "Esteemed leader, you have promoted me step by step. I recall the year of the snow disaster in the Northwest under your guidance. Your kindness towards me has always been etched in my memory. For years, I have closely followed in your footsteps. Please, you must help me this time. What is the root of this issue?" Silence fell on the other end of the line, and Jiang Weigua patiently awaited a response, refraining from urging for a reply. After a moment, the former leader slowly spoke. "In your university's third year, there is a young gentleman named Wang who seems to have had some friction with the leaders of their college, causing him considerable discontent. This matter was initially trivial and did not concern you, but now the head of the Wang family has directly contacted higher authorities, accusing the university of fostering corrupt practices and abuse of power. The situation is now being taken very seriously, with a supervisory team dispatched. If you cannot manage this properly, it may implicate you as well. Corruption, abuse of power." Jiang Weigua's eyes widened in shock. Were this situation to arise elsewhere, he might not have been so surprised. However, occurring at the university, it was beyond his imagination. Since becoming president of the university, Jiang Weigua had conducted thorough investigations to ensure that no corrupt elements infiltrated the institution. It is well known that the country maintains a zero-tolerance policy towards corruption in schools, allowing no room for issues. Students are the nation's future. Harming them is tantamount to stifling the country's prospects. If the conflict was merely between the young gentleman Wang and the college leaders, it would be inconsequential. However, if it escalated to accusations of corruption and abuse of power, the implications would be entirely different. If the Central Inspection Team were to uncover such matters, even if he were not directly involved, he would still bear the brunt of the blame for inadequate oversight. This would jeopardize any hopes for future promotion, and it even called into question the stability of his position as president. Chapter 93. A direct line to the heavens. Jiang Weigua, contemplating this, felt beads of sweat form on his forehead. A wave of dread washed over him. Thankfully, he had the former leader's warning. Otherwise, he would have remained oblivious. Had he waited for the Central Inspection Team to arrive before addressing the issue, it would have been disastrous. Wiping the sweat from his brow, Jiang Weigua sincerely exclaimed, "I am truly grateful to you, esteemed leader. Without your guidance, my tenure as president would likely have come to an abrupt end. Upon my next return to Beijing, I shall bring along several exquisite bottles of wine and fine tobacco to express my heartfelt gratitude to you." Jiang Weigua promptly conveyed his appreciation. The esteemed elder leader responded, "Let us discuss such matters later. For now, set aside your current tasks and prioritize this issue. If you manage it well, it may ease your future endeavors significantly." The sole heir of the Wang family is studying at the University of Finance and Economics, which reflects trust in the organization and in the nation as a whole. You must not dishearten him. "I understand," Jiang Weigua replied. "I shall attend to this matter immediately, ensuring that not a single troublemaker escapes my scrutiny." Naturally, Jiang Weigua agreed wholeheartedly, and then, with curiosity, inquired, "Esteemed leader, could you kindly elaborate on the background of this young Master Wang? I would like to be better informed to avoid any missteps that might displease him." "You truly are a clever one," the elder leader remarked with a hint of exasperation. "How many Wang families in the nation can reach the celestial courts? Think towards the southwest, specifically the heavy industry group. Is that Wang family?" Jiang Weigua was taken aback, unable to maintain his composure, his expression betraying his astonishment. After ending the call, he wiped the sweat from his brow with a tissue, struggling to maintain his composure while his heart raced with trepidation. The political arena resembled an unpredictable battleground. A single misstep could lead to dire consequences, and any negligence could result in obliteration. Fortunately, the elder leader's timely warning had saved him from what could have been a disastrous day. To the southwest, the Wang family, entrenched in the heavy industry. Aside from Wang Zhangwo, he could not fathom which other Wang family could have such direct access to the higher echelons. Wang Zhangwo appeared to be merely the chairman of a heavy industry enterprise. However, those who perceived him as an ordinary businessman would find themselves gravely mistaken. Wang Zhangwo seldom stepped into the limelight, only making appearances during central meetings, leading most to unconsciously overlook his illustrious status as a representative of the National People's Congress, vice chairman of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, and president of the All-China Federation of Industry and Commerce. Jiang Weiguo, being entrenched within the system, understood the significance of these titles and positions. He was acutely aware of what the pioneer heavy industry group and the Wang family represented. A single call from Wang Jiangwo could stir the higher authorities, prompting the dispatch of an inspection team. This underscores the formidable influence of the Wang family. Principal? Director Li, upon overhearing Jiang Weiguo's fragmented words over the phone, felt a tempest of turmoil within. The Wang family, capable of instilling such fear in the principal, must possess immense power. This thought made him increasingly restless on the couch, prompting him to inquire curiously, what has transpired? Jiang Weiguo, unable to respond to Director Li's question, was consumed by the thought of Wang Jiangwo's son facing injustice under his leadership, clashing with the dean. His heart raced, especially with the involvement of departmental leaders in corruption. A figure of Wang Jiangwo's stature would not trivialize such matters. Thus, the leaders of the academy who clashed with the young scion of the Wang family must undoubtedly harbor significant issues, grave ones indeed, although he was unaware of their identities. The mere thought ignited a blazing fury within Jiang Weiguo. It was precisely due to these corrupt parasites that he nearly lost his position. Most troubling of all was the realization that those above him had become aware of this matter. In a fit of rage, Jiang Weiguo cast the documents before him to the floor, struck his desk vehemently, and bellowed, Director Li, inform the comrades from the Disciplinary Inspection Department to conduct a thorough investigation from my level downwards. Leave no stone unturned. Anyone found culpable must be apprehended. I shall spare no effort in unearthing the truth. Corruption? This is an affront to the heavens. We must uncover the facts. With information provided by senior officials and under Jiang Weiguo's intense pressure, within mere minutes, the Disciplinary Inspection Department pinpointed Wang Yu, Xia Ruijin, and Ding Shun, among others. It was inevitable. The campus was abuzz with Wang Yu's admirers. His fame was indeed overwhelming. Arriving at school in a multi-million-dollar Apollo, bearing a local license plate worth $88, and flaunting a Vacheron Constantin watch valued over $20 million, along with a personal bodyguard, all while having smashed a Ferrari on his first day. Jiang Weiguo could easily deduce that Wang Yu was the son of Wang Jiangwo, the sole heir of the Wang family. Having confirmed Wang Yu's identity, the remaining tasks fell to the comrades of the Disciplinary Inspection Department, who began a meticulous investigation into Ding Shun and Xia Ruijin. Soon, the discord between Wang Yu and the father-son duo of Xia Wenshuan and Xia Ruijin, as well as Wang Yu's subsequent visit to the dean's office, all came to Jiang Weiguo's attention. These events were overtly public, thus requiring little investigation. As he perused the meticulously detailed account in the documents before him, his brow furrowed deeply. The contents outlined the entire sequence of events and the students' evaluations of Xia Ruijin, particularly the accusations from impoverished students against him. Jiang Weiguo was consumed by rage. A conflagration burned fiercely within him. Xia Ruijin had audaciously withheld financial aid from underprivileged students, and worse, had even abused and harassed impoverished female students right under his nose. Ding Shun, in his capacity as the head of the academy, had turned a blind eye to the students' reports. As Xia Ruijin's protector, he had certainly benefited from Xia Ruijin's corrupt practices, creating a veritable den of iniquity. It was no wonder that Wang Jiangwo had reported these grievances to higher authorities, highlighting the rampant moral decay and corruption permeating the institution. Having traversed the political landscape for decades, Jiang Weiguo could easily envision the heinous acts perpetrated by Ding Shun and Xia Ruijin against these students. Occupying a lofty position, did Ding Shun truly covet the meager financial aid meant for impoverished students? If he were to engage in corruption, with the university's annual budget exceeding $100 billion, there would be no shortage of opportunities. Trembling with indignation, Jiang Weiguo was appalled to discover the realities occurring within the university, countless underprivileged students enduring relentless torment and suffering. Scoundrels! Degenerates! In a fit of fury, Jiang Weiguo tore the documents to shreds. He stormed out, directly notifying the leaders of various departments within the school. A group of individuals gathered at the entrance of the business school's dean's office. Bang! Jiang Weiguo uttered no further words and forcefully kicked open the door. Upon closer inspection, he found Ding Shun sitting dazedly behind his desk, his eyes fixated on the computer screen. Bloodstains still marred his clothing, presenting a disheveled appearance, devoid of his former grandeur. It's over. Lao Zhao isn't answering my calls anymore. How could it happen so swiftly? He must have found out, Dean Chen murmured. Chapter 94. Merely entertaining a sinister thought, the tremendous sound of the door being kicked open jolted Dean Chen back to reality. He looked up to see Jiang Weigua standing at the entrance, flanked by a cadre of school leaders. Jiang Weigua's expression was dark, his gaze piercing. Dean Chen hastily stammered. Principal, what brings you here? Jiang Weigua strode forward and seized Chen's collar, his voice seething with anger. Chen Yang, you have truly outdone yourself. Just look at the mess you've created. I appointed you as dean because I believe in your exceptional capabilities, that you could elevate the business school to greater heights. And this is how you repay me? Is this how you treat the students? Chen Yang, the weight of Jiang Weigua's trembling voice echoing through the corridor, felt the eyes of curious faculty members upon him as they whispered and pointed. Despite Jiang Weigua's fury, Dean Chen clung to a sliver of hope and attempted to defend himself. Principal, what are you talking about? I don't understand. I've always cared for the students. Have I done something wrong? Jiang Weigua's teeth ground in fury as he shoved Chen Yang to the floor, chastising him. At this point, you still dare to make excuses. I've received calls from the higher-ups. Do you think I'm unaware? Dean Chen's face drained of color, trembling uncontrollably. He realized the gravity of the situation. It was futile to conceal the truth. He had not anticipated that the news would reach Jiang Weigua so swiftly. Wang Yu's speed of action had exceeded his expectations, leaving him no time to devise a countermeasure. Thud! Dean Chen fell to his knees before Jiang Weigua, clinging to him like a drowning man grasping for a final straw. He grasped Jiang Weigua's leg, pleading desperately. It was Wang Yu who insisted on donating to the school. I merely entertained a fleeting thought. I have not embezzled anything. I had no idea Wang Yu held such prominence. Had I known, I would never have dared to provoke him. Principal, please save me. I will apologize to Wang Yu. I will do anything, as long as you spare me. I am willing to relinquish my position as dean. At this juncture, Dean Chen was still desperately floundering, attempting to evade the consequences. As long as Wang Yu was willing to forgive him, the matter involving Sha Ruijin would remain hidden. Otherwise, should a thorough investigation ensue, the gravity of his misdeeds would not merely result in suspension. He would spend the rest of his life imprisoned, his reputation and hard work obliterated in an instant. Thus, Chen Yang resorted to such desperate measures. Still desperately floundering. A person seasoned in the corridors of power for decades certainly lives up to their reputation. It seems that until the very last moment, you remain obstinate. Jiang Weigua broke free from the grip of Director Chen and cast a cold, penetrating gaze upon Chen Yang. Since you are unwilling to speak, then let us see what the comrades from the Discipline Inspection Department have to say. Once the investigation is complete, the truth will inevitably emerge, whether you have been wronged or not. Security, restrain him immediately and transfer him directly to the Discipline Inspection Office for thorough investigation. Without hesitation, the security personnel advanced, disregarding Chen Yang's struggles, firmly pinning him down. Let me go. Get off me. Chen Yang struggled vehemently. He was acutely aware that this was his last chance to plead before Jiang Weigua. If the discipline inspection personnel got involved, all hope would be lost. His past was hardly pristine. How could he withstand such scrutiny? Jiang Weigua regarded the writhing Chen Yang before him, and the former brilliance had vanished, leaving him akin to a wretched insect. His gaze was frigid, still seething with the remnants of rage. Such scum is undeserving of pity. It nearly implicated me as well. Were it not for the timely warning from the old leadership, I too might have been ensnared. Jiang Weigua felt a lingering trepidation. How could he possibly assist Chen Yang? Furthermore, in the face of the formidable Wang family, this was a burden he could not endure. Take him away at once. Ignoring Chen Yang's pleas, Jiang Weigua ordered the security to escort him out swiftly, lest he disrupt his composure. Chen Yang fell silent, ceasing his struggles. He realized his fate was sealed, all due to his momentary greed. Recalling Wang Yu's words, he understood that he and Sha Ruijin's misdeeds towards those impoverished students would soon be unearthed. Had he known Wang Yu's formidable connections, he would have been more prudent, never daring to brazenly accept bribes. Regret washed over him. How much better it would have been to serve as a stable dean. Alas, there are no remedies for regret in this world. Not everyone possesses the fortune of Wang Yu, who could gain the favor of the system and rewrite their destiny. Notify everyone. All school leaders and faculty members are to convene. Jiang Weigua declared to the assembly of school leaders before him. Everyone, the leaders were taken aback. Indeed, Jiang Weigua's eyes sparked with intensity as he fixed his gaze upon them, stating, "Our ranks face a grave issue. All must attend." Those with guilty consciences should come forward voluntarily. Otherwise, it will be too late. I intend to root out every last parasite, even if it requires digging 3 feet deep. In the office of the department head at the financial university, Shahrujin was engrossed in reviewing documents on his computer, which detailed the impoverished students' data from 2018. The quality of this cohort appears commendable. As usual, Shahrujin meticulously browsed through the images on the screen, letting out a lecherous chuckle. Look at these faces. So delicate and enticing. Suddenly, a knock echoed at the door. Irritated, Shahrujin called out, "Who is it?" Yet, no response came from beyond the door. Puzzled, he was met with another round of knocks. Who was knocking at the door? There was no response. In a state of helplessness, Shahrujin reluctantly closed his computer and rose to open the door. To his surprise, he was greeted by several middle-aged men dressed in formal attire. The foremost of whom appeared to be in his 40s, wearing gold-rimmed glasses and possessing a square face. His expression was stern as he regarded Shahrujin. Upon recognizing them, Shahrujin was taken aback. Were they not from the school's disciplinary office? What did they possibly want from him? The once imposing Director Shah, who had exuded authority in front of the students, felt utterly intimidated in their presence. Guilt weighed heavily upon him, rendering him incapable of standing tall. "Good day, comrades." Shahrujin forced a smile, hastily addressing them. "Please come in. Is there something I can assist you with?" The leader merely stared at him without responding, his face devoid of emotion as he stated, "You are Shahrujin, the director of the business school, correct?" "Yes, I am Shahrujin," he replied cautiously, his heart racing. The familiarity of the situation unsettled him. Could it possibly be? "We are from the disciplinary office," the square-faced man continued. "We have received a report alleging that you are involved in corruption, bribery, and the sexual assault of minors, among other violations. You need to accompany us." Shahrujin's eyes widened in disbelief, and he broke into a cold sweat. How could the disciplinary office be aware of his misdeeds? Suddenly, he recalled Wang Yu's words, "Cherish your freedom while it lasts." Could it be him? But he quickly dismissed the thought. Wang Yu is merely a student, lacking the means to uncover his actions or instigate an investigation against him. The leader remarked, "Whether you are innocent or guilty, you will find out soon enough. Take him away." With that, several men seized Shahrujin's arms and began to escort him out. A wave of terror washed over him as he struggled helplessly, his trembling limbs devoid of strength. Like a defeated animal, he was dragged out of the department head's office. His disgraceful exit caught the attention of numerous students, who eagerly pulled out their phones to capture the moment and post it online. Many students loathed Shahrujin, wishing nothing more than for him to meet a swift end. The more he suffered, the more jubilant they became, as if they had just savored a refreshing bottle of ice-cold soda on a scorching summer day. The leader of the group paid no heed to Shahrujin's plight. Instead, he turned to the students, smiling as he said, "Students, please step aside. We are from the disciplinary office, and we have thoroughly investigated Shahrujin's transgressions. I assure you, he will never see the light of day again." His words, though inappropriate and in violation of protocol, were fueled by the anger he felt toward Shahrujin's actions. "Wonderful. This scoundrel has finally been caught. Long live the school. Go to hell, you piece of trash." The students erupted in cheers at his proclamation. Numerous students who had suffered under Shahrujin's tyranny seized whatever they could find and hurled it at him. Their faces gleamed with exhilaration, relishing the thought that this scoundrel would finally face the long-overdue consequences of his actions. Shahrujin was dragged along, subjected to the scornful glares of passing students, who mercilessly bombarded him with drinks and snacks. He could no longer concern himself with the shame of it all. The suffocating dread within him made it hard to breathe, as he recalled the heinous acts he had committed, each one deserving of a life sentence. The words of Wang Yu flashed through his mind once more. In a sudden surge of desperation, he began to thrash about. "It wasn't me. This isn't my doing. You must be mistaken. Let me go." The man with the square jaw observed Shahrujin's frantic demeanor. It was beyond comprehension that a department head at such a prestigious university could engage in such repugnant behavior, especially when they possessed irrefutable evidence against him. Before long, they arrived at the office of the disciplinary committee. Upon entering, they found Jiang Weigua and several others seated within. Shahrujin, who had been struggling continuously, fell silent. He fixed his gaze on one figure, fury burning in his eyes. "Wang Yu, what is he doing here?" Wang Yu met his gaze with a faint smile, one that carried layers of meaning. "Surprised to see me?" he remarked nonchalantly. "It's you. You orchestrated all of this." Shahrujin's legs buckled beneath him, collapsing to the floor as he looked up at Wang Yu in despair. Indeed, it was Wang Yu. Jiang Weigua cast a glance at Sha Ruijin before continuing to peruse the documents in his hand. These were the reports he had gathered, detailing the students' evaluations and grievances against Sha Ruijin, withholding financial aid from impoverished students, mocking them mercilessly, committing acts of sexual harassment and manipulation against female students, and coercing them into compromising situations alongside Chen Yang and other school officials. Sha Ruijin, the department head, had wielded his limited power with deplorable audacity. As Jiang Weigua absorbed the harrowing accounts within the documents, he felt the weight of countless students' anguish and shattered dreams, their blood and tears etched into every line. His hands trembled slightly, a surge of indignation swelling within him. Not a single positive remark could be found about him. How had he ascended to the position of department head? Jiang Weigua struggled to comprehend how such a figure could lurk beneath his command. Investigations revealed that individuals like Sha Ruijin were not isolated cases within the institution. Some school leaders and a handful of faculty members conspired with him, complicit in his misdeeds. Yet Sha Ruijin was the most egregious example, acting without restraint to satiate his twisted desires, leaving a trail of innocent young women devastated in his wake. The shocking records before Jiang Weigua sent chills down his spine, impressing upon him the immense gravity of his responsibility. Thankfully, the old leaders had provided timely warnings. If the inspection team were to discover Sha Ruijin's misconduct, it would surely spell doom for him and Chen Yang, along with the others involved. Sha Ruijin, Jiang Weigua threw the documents onto the floor before him, his voice rising with authority. Do you even realize the gravity of your transgressions? Sha Ruijin trembled as he grasped the document, his complexion as pale as parchment, beads of sweat cascading from his brow, rendering him momentarily dizzy. He parted his lips, yearning to articulate a defense, yet discovered himself utterly devoid of strength, unable to emit a single sound. Those disgraceful deeds, long buried deep within his heart and thought to remain forever concealed, were now laid bare before him, akin to sharp blades ruthlessly piercing through his very being. An overwhelming sense of terror rendered him incapable of controlling his body. Wang Yu approached slowly, crouching down to meet Sha Ruijin's gaze at eye level. Did you truly believe you could shroud the heavens with your hands? Wang Yu's eyes radiated a piercing coldness and disdain. You are mistaken. Justice may arrive late, but it is never absent. From the moment you first reached for the scholarship funds and uttered disrespectful words to students, your fate was sealed for today. Meanwhile, outside, an ever-growing crowd of faculty and students gathered, murmuring among themselves, vocally condemning Sha Ruijin's actions. You are quite audacious. As if it were not enough to accept bribes, you dared to lay a hand on a female student? As the department head, instead of seeking to benefit the students, you have abused your limited authority recklessly. Jiang Weigua's fury ignited upon seeing him, his anger intensifying with each word. Being appointed as a department head has led you to take yourself far too seriously. You disregard the students. Do you still regard me, the principal, or the law itself? Thank heavens you are merely a department head. If you were in my position, would you not turn the entire university upside down? Do not forget, the authority you wield was bestowed upon you. And what oaths did you take before the national flag? Sha Ruijin opened his mouth, but remained silent. Jiang Weigua, resolute and unyielding, prepared to conduct a thorough investigation among the school's leadership and faculty. He could not permit such misconduct to recur. How would he handle this? Director Li of the school observed the fallen Sha Ruijin and then spoke. Jiang Weigua cast a disdainful glance at Sha Ruijin before diverting his gaze. Since entering the political arena, he had remained untainted, steadfastly upholding his principles and never succumbing to the allure of power. As a member of the school leadership, Sha Ruijin exhibited no sense of duty to serve the people. Instead, he unleashed his personal desires upon the students. Had this been the 1970s or 80s, he would have drawn a gun and executed him on the spot. Let it be dismissed and investigated. Jiang Weigua declared coldly. Transfer the case to the judicial authorities. The law will render a fair judgment on the multitude of crimes he has committed. Comrades from the Discipline Inspection Commission, I urge you to thoroughly investigate all personnel appointments, fund allocations, and project approvals within the school. We must not overlook a single corner that may harbor corruption. Chapter 96. You only know that your end is near, principal. I was wrong. Please save me. Sha Ruijin cried out, inexplicably finding the strength to shout. He wept uncontrollably, snot and tears mingling as he pleaded. I was wrong. I shall never dare again. Please spare me. I truly understand my mistakes. The coat of the department head, which he had long relied upon, was now stripped away by Jiang Weigua's words. This moment instantaneously stripped him of his guise. Sha Ruijin felt as if he had returned to his days as an insecure and helpless newcomer at the financial university. He incessantly bowed his head before Jiang Weigua, repeatedly muttering his acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Jiang Weigua coldly remarked, "You are merely aware that your demise is imminent." A darkness engulfed Sha Ruijin's vision, and he fainted on the spot. Observing this, Jiang Weigua sighed heavily. Even at this moment, Sha Ruijin exhibited no semblance of remorse, driven solely by fear of the impending investigation. It was evident that he was more concerned about the official title he held than the mistakes he had committed, lacking any desire for contrition. Perhaps, in his heart, he deemed his transgressions trivial and inconsequential. Had I known this would be the outcome, I would have acted differently, Jiang Weigua coldly stated, then instructed those present, take him away. Turning to Wang Yu, who sat nearby, Jiang Weigua reflected that while his actions today were fueled by anger, a significant part of his resolve stemmed from Wang Yu and the Wang family behind him. If he did not act decisively in front of Wang Yu, how could he hope to satisfy him? After all, both Sha Ruijin and Chun Yang would face legal repercussions for their misdeeds, rendering personal rage unnecessary. It was clear that Wang Yu's perspective held greater weight for Jiang Weigua. Rest assured, Wang, Sha Ruijin, and Chun Yang will face the law's judgment. Wang Yu replied with a faint smile. Justice may not be absent, though it may arrive late. But can delayed justice truly be deemed just? From a philosophical standpoint, ideals and reality continuously clash and seek equilibrium. In an ideal world, justice would be immediate, wrongdoing swiftly punished, and social order maintained. However, in reality, everything is interlinked and complex, constrained by human cognition and action. Thus, justice must navigate through convoluted paths. Such is the nature of humanity. This matter remains unresolved. The fate of Sha Ruijin is evident for all to see. Is it pitiful? Wang Yu does not think so, whether in a past life or the present. Sha Ruijin's plight is of his own making. As an adult, one must take responsibility for one's actions. When faced with consequences, one must stand tall and accept punishment. In the principal's office, Jiang Weigua expressed his gratitude to Wang Yu, saying, "I must thank you for your timely reporting of these individuals' actions. Otherwise, I would have remained oblivious. Those students might have had to endure the torment of these demons for an indeterminate time. Thankfully, your alertness prevented further impact on more students. Otherwise, I would have lived in constant unease." Jiang Weigua's appreciation for Wang Yu was sincere. The phone call from Wang Zhangwo had resonated through the higher echelons, prompting an inspection team to be dispatched. However, it also served as a warning bell for Jiang Weigua. Had he not received this alert, allowing Sha Ruijin and Chun Yang to grow increasingly unrestrained until a catastrophic event occurred, any remedial action taken afterward would have been futile. Fortunately, it was still not too late. Wang Yu provided him with a timely opportunity for redress. Seizing this moment, it was a chance to eradicate the pests within the school, preventing further incidents in the future. The principal took this matter seriously. As my alma mater, safeguarding the university also serves to protect my own interests. Wang Yu remarked with a smile. Your concern is indeed commendable, Jiang Weigua sighed. Since its establishment, the university has undergone over a century of development, nurturing countless talents for our nation. If I were to falter in my supervision, I would be failing both the country and its people. In my heart, the students are akin to my own children. If the school were filled with exceptional students like you, I believe such issues would not arise again. Jiang Weigua shook his head, adding, despite my words, the reality remains that my oversight has been insufficient, thus allowing these individuals to take advantage. Wang Yu cast a glance at Jiang Weigua. How dare this old fool take advantage of me? He thought. Maintaining a calm demeanor, he replied, Principal, given your demanding schedule overseeing tens of thousands of faculty and students at the university, it is understandable that such matters could slip through the cracks. As long as they are addressed promptly, all will be well. Rest assured, Wang, Jiang Weigua said with newfound seriousness, I will enhance my oversight. Such issues will not occur again, at least not during my tenure. Principal, I wish to discuss a donation to the university, of which you are likely already aware of the reasons, Wang Yu stated with a smile. However, my conversation with Dean Shun was not particularly pleasant, and there were some misunderstandings. Since he is here now, we can discuss it together. How do you propose to handle the payment for this 100 million donation? Wang Yu elevated the donation amount to $1 billion, feeling satisfied as the matter had been resolved. Although Jiang Weigua was courteous to him, a significant part of this deference stemmed from the formidable Wang family behind him. Nonetheless, he felt it necessary to reciprocate. Moreover, for Wang Yu, the difference between 20 million and 1 billion was negligible, as he possessed hundreds of billions in his bank account. A billion was merely a drop in the ocean. His primary concern now lay solely with the system points. However, Jiang Weiguo personally invited him to the discipline inspection office, allowing him to observe the handling of Sha Ruijin. This gesture granted Wang Yu ample respect, naturally prompting him to return the favor. Words alone held little weight. Only money and benefits were truly substantial. Wang, let us refrain from discussing the donation further. Given the current circumstances, I, as principal, have no face to accept your generosity, Jiang Weiguo said, furrowing his brow and firmly refusing. Moreover, 100 million is excessive. This is merely a token of my goodwill. Wang Yu was momentarily taken aback. Yet his smile remained intact. He gently waved his hand, saying, Principal, you are being overly modest. Regardless of past events, my desire to donate has never wavered. To me, this 100 million is but a trifling sum, yet if invested in the university for the benefit of future students, it would hold profound significance. As a member of this institution, it is my duty to contribute in any way I can. Jiang Weiguo's expression revealed hesitation as he unconsciously clasped and released his hands. With a final sigh, he remarked, having a student like you at the University of Finance is a tremendous honor for both the institution and myself. Since you are so insistent, I shall graciously accept this contribution. Although the government allocates funds to the university annually, over the years, many facilities require maintenance and repairs, making this a timely assistance. 100 million is no trifling sum. I will ensure that a detailed account of the allocation of these funds is provided for your review. Rest assured, your donation will be utilized appropriately. On behalf of the entire faculty and student body of the University of Finance, I extend my heartfelt gratitude. Chapter 97. I shall call you Uncle Jiang in appreciation. Once this matter is concluded, I shall host a grand donation ceremony in your honor at the university. Jiang Weiguo said with a smile directed at Wang Yu. It's merely a small act. There's no need to make it known across the campus. I prefer to maintain a low profile. Wang Yu quickly countered with a humble smile. His donation was not motivated by a desire for recognition. Moreover, he had no need to seek fame through such means. He was already quite well known on campus, with students pointing at him as he walked by, which had become rather bothersome. He now wished to remain low-key, and once more low-key. There was truly no necessity for such a donation ceremony. His intent was simply to contribute earnestly to his alma mater, without attracting unnecessary attention with ostentatious displays. Jiang Weiguo gazed at Wang Yu with deep appreciation and remarked, to act without arrogance, to work without boasting, and to conduct oneself with humility and courtesy embodies the spirit of a gentleman. The University of Finance is truly fortunate to have a student of your caliber. It is a blessing for both the institution and our nation. Today's youth indeed surpass their predecessors. I am indeed growing old. Not at all. I must also express my gratitude for the nurturing provided by the school and the tireless efforts of the principal. Without you, how could the University of Finance have produced so many outstanding students? Wang Yu replied bashfully, maintaining his composure. A few kind words would not cost him anything, and he would be spending 2 more years at the university, inevitably needing to interact with Jiang Weiguo. Even if Jiang Weiguo was merely a small figure in the Wang family's eyes, as the principal of the university, his words held weight in this domain. Therefore, it was prudent to be courteous. To be accommodating to others was to be accommodating to oneself. Very well, Jiang Weiguo laughed heartily, clearly pleased by Wang Yu's words, which brought him great joy. Principal, if there is nothing further, I shall take my leave, Wang Yu said as he rose. Sit a while longer. Do not rush off, Jiang Weiguo urged. In the future, do come by my office to chat. As I age, I find joy in conversing with young people like you. That might not be appropriate, considering there are so many matters at the school that you must manage. Wang Yu hesitated, revealing uncertainty on his face. Not at all. The role of principal is not as demanding as you might think. Besides, with so many school leaders seemingly idle, shall I take on their responsibilities? Whenever you are free, come and chat with me. Do not worry about my schedule. I have ample time. Very well then, just do not find me tiresome, principal. What an absurdity to still address one as the principal. It feels excessively distant. I am of the same age as your father. If you do not mind, simply call me Uncle Jiang. Then I shall call you Uncle Jiang. Very well. Do not leave just yet, Jiang Weiguo said, pulling Wang Yu to the tea table in his office. Come, share a cup of tea with your uncle. This is a fine tea I have cherished for many years. Seldom do I bring it out. Do taste it. Ding. The system has detected the host spending 100 million, with a double cashback of 200 million. Ding. Congratulations. The host has obtained 10,000 system points. 3 days later, the entire school received a broadcast announcement. All faculty and students, regarding the serious disciplinary and legal violations of Chun Yang, Xia Ruijin, and others. Chen Yang, the dean of the School of Business, was expected to lead the development of the college. However, he has strayed from the fundamental principles of education, severely violating national laws and regulations, organizational discipline, integrity discipline, and work-style discipline during his tenure. Chen Yang has evidently lost his basic moral compass. Having embezzled and accepted bribes multiple times while in office, his actions constituting serious violations of the criminal law of Huagua and related laws. The school has suspended him and referred the matter to the relevant authorities for investigation. Xia Ruijin, as the department head, has similarly betrayed the trust of faculty and students, long insulting impoverished students and trampling on their dignity, resorting to unscrupulous means for personal gain, and committing grave offenses by deceiving and bullying female students. Such behavior is in stark contrast to the principles of equality and care that education should embody. The school has also suspended him and referred the matter to the relevant authorities for investigation. The emergence of this incident reflects a dereliction of duty on the part of the school, which hereby extends sincere apologies to the vast number of students while hoping for constructive feedback and criticism from them. Upon the release of the school's announcement, a wave of astonishment swept through the faculty and student body. Most students were bewildered, unaware of the unfolding events. How could such a significant scandal arise so soon after the semester commenced? The atmosphere on campus felt as though it had been shaken by an earthquake, with deans, department heads, and faculty members facing successive penalties. Did I miss something? How splendid it is that Xia Ruijin, that fool, has finally received his due punishment. I have long been displeased with him, his daily displays of arrogance. I possess evidence of Xia Ruijin's insults toward me. I shall submit it. Xia Wenxuan has always flaunted his father's position as a department head, but now, I wonder how he will continue to behave so arrogantly. On the school forum, students actively engaged in discussions, with victims coming forward to share their experiences. Others appeared utterly perplexed, scrambling to discover what had transpired. Zheng Zhen observed that the majority of students remained oblivious to the situation, and with a sly grin, he typed a message on his phone and sent it out. This matter is indeed connected to Wang Yu. Were it not for his words, Xia Ruijin and Chen Yang might have continued to evade justice indefinitely. The forum erupted in chaos. Again, it is Wang Yu? They were puzzled. It was already astonishing that Wang Yu's name had been prevalent in campus discussions in recent days. But how could the corruption of Chen Yang and Xia Ruijin possibly tie back to him? How could this be related? I share a dormitory with Wang Yu. It would be absurd to mislead you otherwise. Zheng Zhen interjected once more. Wang Yu and I have been roommates for 2 years. We are practically brothers, and I know him quite well. He then recounted the entire sequence of events in detail. Wang Yu had a confrontation with Xia Wenxuan on the basketball court that afternoon, which prompted Xia Ruijin to announce his intention to expel Wang Yu. Subsequently, someone spotted Wang Yu entering the dean's office. Consequently, today's announcement emerged, suggesting a sweeping crackdown. Wang Yu appears to possess significant influence. Consider this carefully. His family is undoubtedly remarkable, perhaps even connected to higher authorities. Indeed, even someone of Dinshen's stature has been implicated. With the emergence of these revelations, they swiftly ascended the trending topics list. Simultaneously, Wang Yu's classmates publicly expressed their close relationship with him, further affirming that he had not been untruthful. The campus forum buzzed with renewed discussions. I had thought Wang Yu was merely wealthy, but it turns out he is exceptionally formidable. Had it not been for him, who knows how many students would have been bullied by Xia Ruijin and his ilk. This is not just impressive. It is a triumph of monumental proportions. I hereby declare that Wang Yu is now my idol. Help! I feel as though I might dissolve entirely. How can he be so flawless? He is indeed quite handsome, but it hardly warrants such extreme admiration. Hee. Just give me 10 days. I shall win over my idol. The forum was predominantly filled with praises for Wang Yu, with a few dissenting voices drowned in the overwhelming tide of admiration. Particularly among the female students, their excitement mirrored that of encountering a beloved celebrity. The downfall of Dinshen and Xia Ruijin only heightened Wang Yu's appeal. University students are at a pivotal point in their lives, marked by a strong sense of justice. In this context, Wang Yu's pursuit of righteousness naturally elevated him to the status of their idol and hero. Furthermore, The fact that Wang Yu drives a luxury Apollo with a local license plate number of 88,888 has only fueled speculation about his background. Chapter 98. Northeast Yao Jinglong, is it truly this exhilarating to flaunt oneself? After posting, Zheng Jun felt invigorated and remarked, Wang Yu won't allow us to speak of this, yet I wonder how he plans to maintain his low profile now. After enduring a few lectures, Wang Yu could no longer tolerate the hypnotic atmosphere and descended to